Quotes there said almost zero.
Almost
so
zero.
I'm sure
so nothing substantial.
Yeah, I'm completely gone over here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This thing's crazy. All right, we'll just let this one go. We're not trading anyway. Dell beats on Q2 earnings, but weak EPS guide weighs on shares. So let's talk about how they did. Dell adjusted EPS of 232.
Hold on, Schrafer. Apparently we're getting some mic issues here as well, too.
Mic muted. SSE, no, am I muted?
No, the stream.
The stream. Okay, so it looks like it's just stream, guys. I think it might have something to do with the internet.
Audio is back.
Because are we good, Assassino, or no? Should we keep going, or?
A lot of people saying we're back, and a lot still saying
we can't hear. Problems with stream. Good now. We're back. Okay, refresh again. Okay, so we're good to go. Let's go on over here. You go ahead, Joey.
Yes, sir. VinFast delivered over 35,800 EVs in Q2 of 2025, marking a 172% jump from last year. That brings their first half total to more than 72,000 EVs and over 220% year over year. With stronger sales, usually in the second half, they're on pace to easily double 2024's 97,000 units. They're also crushing it on two-wheelers with nearly 70,000 e-scooters and bikes sold in Q2, up 432% from a year ago. And with gas-powered two-wheelers being phased out in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, by 2026, the growth potential looks huge. You can find them on the NASDAQ under VFS there, guys.
Like it, Joey. All right, let's go on here. So let's talk about Dell now. Adjusted EPS coming in at 232, better than 230 expected, on revenue of $29.78 billion, again ahead of the expectations of $29.17, and a nice bump year over year, almost 20% year over year increase on that revenue number. They did raise, their full year outlook up to $107 billion in revenue for the full year versus the 104.6 previous estimate, and about $9.55 in earnings per share, ahead of the midpoint of $9.38. Again, sometimes you see the estimates different, really depending on where you got them from. But this is kind of where, the good ends, because their EPS guidance, 10 pennies below expectations, 245. The street was looking for 255 on revenue of $27 billion, which is the midpoint versus that $26.1 billion that topped expectations. But the seasonality in the storage business kind of is one of the reasons here for the profit concentration, according to management. Let's talk about their different segments. They've got three ones they're going to talk about here: server and networking, which is really their AI focus. That revenue was $12.9 billion, just a little shy of 13, but up 69% year over year. That's driven by strong demand for their AI servers. Yes, they're very much competing with SMCI in that regard. Their storage revenue was $3.86 billion, and that was negative 3% year over year, and missed the expectations easily here of $4.1 billion. So a bit of a miss there. And their client solutions group, which is a euphemism for their PC division, what I used to know Dell for, that was $12.5 billion, and a very anemic 1% year over year growth, showing slower growth than obviously infrastructure. Let's talk about their AI ambitions, Joey Options. They shipped about $10 billion worth of AI servers over the past 2 quarters. And they're targeting $20 billion in AI server shipments for the full year of 2026. So looking possibly to double up on that number. I know we haven't quite finished 2025 yet, but it'll certainly be higher, you have to assume. And about a $1.3 billion, Joey, on share buybacks and dividends.
Yeah. I mean, from a technical standpoint, doesn't look too horrible. But also, we're getting a mixed bag here, because TD Cowen is going to raise that target to $125. And then we also have Fox Advisors giving it the downgrade or equal weight as well, too. So just keep that in mind. But one thing from a technical standpoint, guys, I really, really like this hammer. Gap down, and then you have this hammer candle right here with a large volume print. I think you might get a potential bounce here in Dell. And I remember back in the day, that's all it used to be. Dell dominated the PC space.
Goodness, yeah,
it had an insane amount of market share, but obviously they started to lose it to some other companies and all these new gaming computers, which they're not necessarily known for these days, because everybody's constructing their own. But from right now, it doesn't look too bad. And as for the shipments that you're talking about, 20 billion, that's pretty good in my opinion.
That's not bad, right? I don't know what SMCI ships, so we have to make that comparison.
Well, I'm pretty sure SMCI is having some more legal troubles, aren't they?
There was something in it today. I'm not talking about that. I just meant relatively revenue speaking, like what the comps are. Adara, this was a mixed report.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, even with like the beats that we did have, especially with EPS, it was pretty narrow. Like I know some sources that I use on X that actually wouldn't even consider that a beat. They consider it in line with regards to their earnings per share this quarter. So with that context in mind, I think the move down makes a little bit more sense. But I mean, Dell's had, it's had quite the journey, right? It went private for a bit, went public again in 2018, just rejoined the S&P 500 last year. So again, you can check out all these infographics on X at TTV Research, but sometimes I like to go back, provide a little bit more context for these stories. I mean, as you can see here, the revenue journey over the last, 8 or 9 fiscal years can best be described as flat. So I think, anything that isn't a year-over-year decline is probably pretty good. As you can see, there was a decline there in 2023. So yeah, I mean, I think any kind of, year-over-year growth in 2025 would be best case scenario. That being said, this report was not ideal, though the guidance for the fiscal year was actually not bad. So maybe that can balance things out a bit.
Yeah, we'll see if they can shore up costs. It seems like that's what keeps keeping them down a little bit there, Dara. Thank you for that look. Let's talk about one of their competitors and a story Joey just prefaced there. Super Micro faces financial disclosure issues amid AI growth. So what's the beef this time with the company? So Super Micro disclosed internal control issues in its June 30th, 2025 annual SEC filing. As we know, they missed their August 2024 deadline for its annual filing of the report, prompting an auditor, Ernst & Young, to resign. Statements were later submitted. It was a whole thing. We covered it ad nauseum on the show. The company began their remediation efforts, but warned no guarantees that they will prevent or resolve the weaknesses. Yeah, that sounds very reassuring. Shout out to them. Weaker quarter, we know that they reported on August 6th, I believe, and the report wasn't that good. Revenue missed. Adjusted EPS also missed, a slight miss for that part. Despite the financial turbulence, though, Joey, the stock is still up, at least it was at the time of the writing of this article, 44%. I'm looking right now at SMCI. It is up 37.17%, fueled obviously by AI servers demand. A very close partnership with...
Are you sure, brother?
The SMCI?
Yeah.
37% year to date.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying on the day. I don't know, man.
Down 5. Yeah. That's why it's off board for a little bit. Yeah.
It's definitely off 5. No, I mean, these guys had troubles with their earnings reports before. They're either late or they're just not releasing them, and they get themselves into trouble. So as for SMCI, if you have those issues, and I know Kramer's a fan of SMCI, says it's ran by some great individuals, but at the end of the day, if you're late to your earnings report or you just decide not to report at all, I don't know how much I'd like that as a shareholder.
I mean, it does feel, it is a year ago now that this was, they missed it, right?
But even so, people don't forget, brother.
People don't forget.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Shout out, I saw that movie I told you a couple weeks ago. Adara, give us your perspective. I don't even know how to approach this.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to find my fun little infographic showing its wild year in 2024 when it was both added to and removed from the NASDAQ in 1 year. Literally, I think in actually less than 6 months. But all that aside, and that will be reposted, check this out on X at TTV Research. Once I locate it, unfortunately, I cannot find it in time to put it on the screen here. But all that aside, I mean, it's crazy. Literally, this week, last year, I believe it was on the Wednesday, we had that news. The day before, Hindenburg released a short report on SMCI, and we know that was actually one of the last short reports that Hindenburg was really trying to get out before eventually shuttering its doors in early 2025, right? So pretty significant there with regards to the SMCI situation. Yeah, I think, honestly, unfortunately, this is not a new story. It isn't even surprising anymore when SMCI has accounting issues. Generally, if SMCI gaps down or has some move lower, this is the assumption that I make, and maybe that is incorrect. But in this case, obviously, it wasn't. Long story short, I think they need to get some kind of real changes here. They need to start with the man in the mirror and just change things around. We already thought they had that accounting sorted out. I guess the new auditor, maybe should step things up a bit, because if you're still having these issues resulting from last year's report, that's a little bit concerning, and I think this is probably going to continue to be a headwind.
Do you think possibly, because remember NVIDIA reported and they were saying that GB200, the Blackwell, oversubscribed, now accounts for 70-some odd % of their revenue, their data center revenue, Does the fact that, SMCI offered these liquid-cooled servers and, their little spin on it, does that move the needle here? What I'm trying to say is there's a new NVIDIA product that's, a new product cycle. Does that benefit SMCI in your opinion?
I mean, I don't know. I think SMCI is very different from other chip stocks because a lot of these will have, they generally have positive catalysts. They'll generally report earnings on time. And normally, I think SMCI, unfortunately, because of its epic rise and fall in 2024 and the accounting issues later in 2024, I just think its reputation has unfortunately.
That's fair.
It precedes it now, and I don't think its reputation is necessarily for chips, or I guess for the cooling situation as much as it should be.
Fair enough. All right, let's go on to the next story. Solana, Katina, man. Solana breaks out on treasury buys and bullish technicals.
Waking up at 500.
Told me to wake him up at 500. Might be a couple of months. Might be a couple of months. Solana gained 4%. This is from yesterday, so obviously Solana is down. Is it? Solana is down today, 2 2/3, but it was up 4% in 24 hours, outperforming the other large cap crypto stocks. Josh Brown, I told you, gets very upset if you refer to crypto's size as cap, because they don't have any capitalization, because they're not made up of anything. He wants us to call it market size.
Market size.
We're going to call it market size, okay?
We got to listen to what JD has to say.
Outperforming large market size cryptos. The price broke past February's resistance, hitting a new high of 216. The open interest, Joseph, options in Solana futures surged 10% to about 13.95 billion, reflecting what people are calling a renewed bullish momentum. Let's talk about the potential for new all-time highs. Katina, man, doesn't want me to wake him up till 500, but you got this Ali Martinez guy. He's a crypto analyst, and he's highlighting Solana's breakout from an ascending triangle pattern, aka a flat top break, projecting a $300 target, according to him, which would surpass the prior all-time highs. This pattern signals a bullish continuation. We used to cover that on the midday lessons. Continuation patterns, reversal patterns, all that good stuff. Let's talk about their DeFi development. DFDV, they purchased about 250,000 Solanas, worth about 77 million, raising their holdings to about 1.83 million Solanas. So it's not just ETH and crypto and Bitcoin that people are hoarding in treasuries. It is Solana as well. A purchase is from a recent equity raise with more than $40 million in net proceeds still available. And the corporates, Joseph, collectively hold 8.6 million Solana, worth about 1.87 billion, showing that growing adoption of Solana as a treasury reserve asset. And now we know that major shareholders include Sharps Technology, Upexi, and DFDV, institutional buys. Joseph, options.
Yeah. Just to add to that point, so it's weird. Sharps Technology announced raising over $400 million to implement the digital treasury strategy with Solana as its primary asset. So and there's your wedge that you were talking about not too long ago, and you can see it as well here too, Sharif. You're breaking through it, coming back into the range. But the thing is, all we hear a lot about is Ethereum and Bitcoin. What I don't think a lot of people are informed. Again, what I found out is that a lot of what we're moving, so project crypto, etc., some of it's going to go on the Solana blockchain as well too. So that's something positive. If you're gonna tokenize a lot of these equities, you're most likely going to use either Solana or Ethereum. Ethereum being the dominant one, but there will be other tokens. So when other companies like JPM's doing a part of their stablecoin, I believe, on the Solana blockchain. Majority of it's going to be on the Ethereum network, and same with other names. I believe Amazon was working on a token as well too, a stable coin that's going to be put on the Solana network. So there it is. You have another name that isn't as talked about, but gaining more popularity.
All right, I'm hearing from you guys that IPDM is going buck. In that same area, 1084 high a day. So keep your eye on it. It still hasn't given up the ghost whatsoever. In fact, it's up 425% and going. Adira, Solana, interesting look. You can make the argument it's been outperforming Bitcoin and ETH the past little while. Does it continue?
I mean, yeah, I did actually make the argument that it's outperforming ETH and Bitcoin on the crypto segment at 11:30 a.m. So I fully do agree with that assessment. Now, I think one thing, too, that could be potentially a little bit bullish for Solana is the fact that we're hopefully getting some of these new ETFs. I mentioned earlier an ETF analyst had gone on X and posted a screenshot. 92 crypto ETFs are currently waiting approval. 7 of those are, at least 7 are for Solana. So Solana is the largest, component there. This is just STSS. It's one of the many small caps with a crypto treasury holding. In this case, theirs is for Solana. So yeah, I think in general, there's a lot of crypto hype right now with regards to treasuries. I think Solana could stand to benefit from that. I think technically it looks good right now. Let's see if these ETFs get approved, though. That could be exciting.
You punching in, Adara?
I mean, I don't know. Again, I want to clarify this. I'm not a crypto bear, but it's something I want to understand a little bit more about before getting involved. And I think also just the idea of how wildly it moves and that it can move at any hour of the night.
Exactly.
I think is kind of like, I don't know how I feel about that. That's kind of how I feel about how most people feel about Chinese ADRs. I feel like I have a little of that about crypto.
Fair.
I consider an ETF if I like the technicals, but we'll have to wait and see on that.
Adara, you're a crypto bear?
No, I said I'm not a crypto
she's
bear.
not a crypto
okay.
Because I feel like I want to clarify that. I have no issue with crypto. I just don't want to get involved in something I don't feel like I understand well enough.
Fair.
Okay, I mean, you've covered the Genius Act, the Clarity Act for some time now. How much more are you looking for?
Well, no, I just mean like this is. I am risk on in some ways intraday, but I feel like holding that overnight.
Yeah.
That's not the vibe for me.
How about if everything's tokenized and you have 24-hour trading? Would that be a little bit more attractive?
It's 24-hour right now, bro.
Like,
no, but
how
I'm
would I do
saying,
24
she's saying
hours?
from an ETF standpoint, if you have the ability to trade these from 24 hours.
I mean, honestly, once things go 24 hours, I don't even know if I feel comfortable with ETFs. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm gonna be really real. Like the whole 24-hour thing in general, I have qualms about, but.
Yeah, it creates definitely more room for volatility. Well said, Adara. Let's go on to the next story. Joseph, Sentinel-1S surges on strong Q2 earnings and annual recurring revenue milestone. Let's get to it. Q2 earnings came in at $242.18 million. That's just narrowly beating, though, guys. 242.17. So barely beating that consensus estimate with EPS of a loss of 4 pennies per share, but that was better than the loss of 5 pennies per share. So, albeit a beat on the top and bottom line, but not that much. 4 consecutive quarters, though, guys, earnings beats. So that's not too bad. I was going to make a joke, but it's about a different company. Let's talk about their growth in ARR and their customers. So the annualized recurring revenue, $1 billion, up 24% year over year as of the 31st of last month, with customer ARR under $100,000 now grew 23% year over year, with about 1,500 signings, signaling stronger enterprise adoption. Management of the company emphasized platform adoption across AI, data, cloud, endpoint security. Again, we're seeing a lot more of this platformization-like strategy that Pandub has been talking a whole lot about. You're seeing a lot of companies want to kind of ensconce you in to their network, into their ecosystem there, which makes a whole lot of sense because it's more revenue for them. Let's talk about the balance sheet and the guidance that they gave in their earnings report. The company ended the quarter, Jody, with $1.2 billion in cash equivalents, and investments, and their Q3 outlook for revenue is between $256 million to $254.3 million. So mid 250s. Let's go with that with their full year 2026 revenue guidance. Almost at $1 billion now on the year, $996 million up to $1.002 billion, up from the prior guide of $980 to $998. So everything hunky dang dory there. With the CEO Tom Weingarten highlighting the strength in AI-powered platform momentum, helping Joey differentiate Sentinel-1 from other competitors. But we know there are many competitors in this space, my friend.
Yeah, there is. I know you like your Panw.
I like Crowd. I'm not invested, but I think it's a good one.
Yeah, I think Crowd's a good one, obviously. I think those are the top two in my opinion.
And Zscaler.
Zscaler is really, really good. I don't know, are we going to put Sentinel-1 at the lower end of that spectrum? I think so, in my opinion. I can't even pull up the chart here because it's not allowing me to. So
I'll do it.
So that's unfortunate. But I mean, cybersecurity.
Here you go, Joey. What do you want, daily?
I was wanting to see what the daily was up to. And then there you go, right? So
it's definitely
we're definitely going to put it at the lower end of that kind of that class. But there we have the PanWs, we have the CrowdStrikes who've been putting in pretty good years, and then you have Sentinel-1 who's essentially doing nothing. So that's not something that I would want to be invested in. That's
agree. Adara, what's your take on this report? I mean, the company is up 5% on the day when most other competitors are a little bit down. What's the look?
Yeah, I was going to say, too, a lot of these cybersecurity names, at least initially, sold off on earnings. So Sentinel-1 actually held up well compared to its competitors. Zscaler, though, actually reporting on Tuesday after the bell. That'll be pretty interesting. That's one that's going to be volatile as well. Yeah, the cybersecurity name is always kind of reporting a little bit later. Yeah, I mean, I think the AI-powered platform momentum is just the CEO's way of trying to remind everybody, hey, AI, we said the buzzword. So that's my takeaway from that. I think the annualized recurring revenue, that's a metric people care about. I think that growth is pretty solid. We'll wait and see. I mean, yeah, I need to add both Zscaler and Fortinet, Sentinel-1 to my little cybersecurity infographic. But yeah, as you can see, there are quite a lot of these. Generally, their revenue trends higher. So yeah, solid look here, I guess, for the Sentinel-1 report. It's a fine report. I don't have too much to say either way. Go Sentinel-1.
Yeah, why not? All right, let's go on to a story I know you'll like for a fact. Celsius expanding partnership with PepsiCo via a Rockstar acquisition. So there's a whole bunch of convoluted, I'm controlling this in this area and you're controlling that. So let's get right down to it. Celsius is a, yeah, so we'll pause for a second,
Joey.
Joey.
Ready?
Yeah.
In Africa, a new generation of leaders is rising. The woman boss empowers them. We provide the training and mentorship women and girls need to start businesses, creating change and build sustainable futures. We've already impacted over 10,000 lives. Your contribution creates the next opportunity. Scan the QR code, empower the next woman leader today. Before we hop in there,
cover that. You want to cover that?
Chat.
Yeah, thank you, Joey.
Guys, where do you see some support on bull? Let's see if I can pull this up here without my charts absolutely losing their hair.
What?
Well, losing their ish is what I was going to say.
Got it, Joey.
Support, let's pull this up from a daily. I thought that would be a good level, but it doesn't look to be the case. And then sure enough, probably down to $11 is probably where you're going to see that next level of support, unfortunately. In this name, maybe even a little bit lower, $9.50. But yeah, that's what I'd be looking for, those specific levels to hold right there, considering this is so tough, man. What a brutal rug pull, almost essentially. 82% off of those the second or a couple days after its IPO or whatever it did there. So,
yeah, it was the IPO. Yeah.
So
all right.
Really bad luck.
Okay. Celsius is acquiring the Rockstar Energy brand in the United States and Canada. They're acquiring it from PepsiCo as a part of an expanded partnership between the two companies. PepsiCo will continue to own and operate Rockstar internationally, while Celsius will manage it in North America. So splitting up control. Celsius will become PepsiCo's lead energy drink partner in the United States, overseeing Celsius, Alani Nu, and the Rockstar Energy brand. So a bit of a collab there. Pepsi also increased their stake in Celsius. So they acquired about $585 million in newly issued, not previous, newly issued, so diluting the pool, newly issued convertible 5% preferred Celsius stock, raising its stake to about 11% ownership. This builds on PepsiCo's prior $550 million investment in Celsius back in 2022, showing that deepening alignment between the two companies. PepsiCo will also nominate an additional director onto the board for Celsius, so not just an equity investment, but also looking to keep control there through the board, or exercise some control through the board. Let's talk about their distribution and brand integration. Celsius's Alani Nu brand will move into the PepsiCo US-Canada distribution system, expanding their reach. PepsiCo will handle distribution of Celsius beverages, Joey, in North America and leverage its scale, obviously, with a lot of trucks. Celsius gains strategic control over Rockstar's US and Canada operation, boosting its competitive positioning against Monster and Red Bull. You kind of feel that this, let's just call it expansion of the strategic partnership, is to hurt Red Bull and hurt Monster to outcompete them.
Well, considering the share that Red Bull has, right? And I don't know how popular Monster is, but I know in the earlier 2000s, it was big. It was definitely the bigger one. Celsius, I don't remember this name back in the day, but obviously starting to gain some ground. And if you look at from the tariff tantrum, essentially non-affected. The stock wasn't hindered whatsoever, up 204% from February, but this is the April low, Sharif, and then nothing happened. The stock traded sideways while the rest of the market was tanking, so that's something positive. But again, Red Bull, I'm not a big caffeine drinker, so for me personally, but I just know that Red Bull and Monster had so much share for an extended period of time, and then sure enough, now you're seeing Celsius team up with Rockstar Energy Drinks, which is another big name as well, too.
All right, Adira, I know you have thoughts. Let's hear them.
Actually, I compiled a quick visual presentation for everybody, so I'm going to go through this. Rockstar, in my opinion, Who's Red Bull? I don't know Red Bull. I don't know Monster. When I was an energy drink
Keep it down, Ram.
consumer, which I was for a time, we have now moved on to natural. But either way, Rockstar, very excellent. I think that, Celsius having more Rockstar is a great sign. I also think another brand that Celsius already previously thinks is going to be a great look for it is Alani Nu. And Ram, you cannot be upset because I know you like this one as well. Alani Nu,
Don't worry
I think
about Ram.
that was a pretty recent acquisition there for Celsius. I think this one is solid as well. I want to say, the point I'm trying to make here is these recent acquisitions could be a really nice distraction for Celsius because Celsius drinks themselves are not that good. I'm
Really?
sorry. They taste like water with probably some caffeine in there. I have never been compelled to drink them. I don't care. So I think that, having these new, emphasis there, or Alani Nu emphasis, to make a pun, on that acquisition, on the Rockstar. I mean, obviously, Pepsi wants to have more control. We talked about the potential takeover, but I actually think this is a good look for Celsius's brand image as well, because, having that Rockstar takeover, I want to see what they do with Rockstar and Alani Nu now that we know they're in charge of the branding. I'm very curious. I will be following this, and, Celsius are going to make it hard for me to keep with my resolution to not drink energy drinks.
I got two questions. Before you go. First of all, what's the difference between a natural energy drink and a regular one? And then second, I forgot my other question there. So maybe answer that one.
The natural ones taste like a little bit earthier, but I'm a matcha drinker anyway, so I have no problem with that. Honestly, yeah, I don't know I think the difference is the type of caffeine. I know Romina and I have talked about this before. It's like how they do it. It says natural caffeine on the can.
Right.
The ingredients are going to be more natural. That's really the difference there. I always drink sugar-free anyway, so that's not different, but it's just, the natural element.
I can't remember the other one. Thank you, Dara, for that.
Let me know.
I will. All right, let's go on to Webull, because Joey was just crapping all over this. So let's talk about how they did. Revenue, $131.5 million. That was 46% year-over-year bump on that top line number, and that beats Q1's 117.4. So good quarter-over-quarter sequential growth in their trading-related revenue. This is not surprising. With the market, 63% year-over-year bump in trading-related revenue, with options contract, Joey, options up only 8%. You think that would be a bigger number there, given their trading-related revenue was up 63, but not so. But that's $127 million, and equity notional volume up 58% year-over-year, up to $161 billion. EPS for profitability came in at 5 pennies, improving from a 6 penny loss earlier this year when they were actually negative. So nice to see that they're actually profitable. The customer assets did hit an all-time high, Joey, at about little shy than $16 billion, which is about a 64% year-over-year increase on that number. So pretty much a good look from these numbers. Let's talk about their user growth and engagement. Funded accounts, they have about 4.75 million, give or take. Funded accounts now, which is a 9% year-over-year increase. Total registered users, though, so big difference there. Look at that. Total registered users, about 25 million, but only 4.75 million actually funded their accounts. Despite that, it's an 18% year-over-year bump, reflecting expanded retail adoption. And the CEO, Anthony Denier, noted retail trading environment is the strongest he's seen since the pandemic. Not surprised with that, given the state of the market. Their crypto segment, let's talk about that. They relaunched crypto trading in Brazil back in June and in the United States in August, allowing stocks, options, and crypto trading on the same platform. Their ongoing strategy is focused, though, on global expansion and product diversification. Just before we hear what Joey Options has to say, we're going to pause for a second, go to Adair with breaking news.
Yes, sir, guys, I have to mention Kraft Heinz here. KHC on watch. Wall Street Journal reporting that the company will be nearing their breakup announcement. They could be announcing their breakup as soon as next week. In case you missed it, this has been previously reported that Kraft Heinz is looking to, separate their business. Wall Street Journal reporting that the announcement related to the separation could happen as soon as next week. Back to you.
For that, Katina Man telling me he's still holding AMD short, by the way, as the market gets into those day lows. So keep an eye out on that. Joey, you showed the chart. The chart doesn't look good. There can't be an argument with that. What do you think about the report?
You know what? I'm just going over it. I'm looking at the growth, right? So related revenue, 63%, but options contracts, 8%. That sucks. When you have a company like Robinhood, where the options activity is up over 100% on a year-to-year basis, and then you have IBKR also racking in a bunch of cash from transactions and more margined accounts, and then also in just user activity across the platform. The numbers that I'm seeing on Webull are not overly impressive, considering, I get it, CoinSquare, they weren't the best. We didn't have the great numbers, but they're a one-trick pony. When you have the likes of Robinhood that is just literally in every faction of the company is continuously growing, and you don't see that in the likes of Webull, it's going to be a lower end brokerage and a trading platform, in my opinion.
I agree. Adira, do you agree with Joseph's assessment there? Trading related revenue surges 63%, but options contracts are really only for revenue only up 8%. And the funded account, Adira, they've got 4.73 million funded accounts, but they have almost 25 million registered users, meaning the great majority of people are not funding their accounts. This is good?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to interpret that number. I mean, people use Webull for different reasons, right? Like Webull, for example, I'll use it sometimes just to look at charts on a smaller time frame, right? So I think depending on the purpose,
Fair.
Joe, I agree with you to an extent that they are a one-trick pony, but I also think that they're not if you consider the charting aspect. So I think it depends on what you're using it for.
Coin is a one-trick pony, not
Coin? Oh, sorry, Coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way, I mean, I think with Bull, when you consider the charting aspect, I think that's a pretty good look. Obviously, right now traders are saying we bear, but I think the growth on this, with revenue, with the trading-related revenue, even the option contract growth, it's not bad, 8% year over year. I don't have comparables, so I can't really compare it to other metrics. But yeah, I mean, I think it's not a bad look there for Webull across the board. Traders, or I guess investors, whatever, not liking the look today, but it could certainly be worse.
Shout out to WeBear.
I mean, the reports aren't hoping. It's growing, but not at the rate where we know the retail trader is getting more involved in the market from a day-to-day basis, as we were talking about. So it's where are these retail traders going at the end of the day? And it seems like they're funneling into the brokerages like Robinhood and IBKR.
No, but I have to echo Adira's sentiment on that usage thing, because when I started on the floor here, one of the platforms I was using to get some data, because they were giving out free data at the time. I don't know if it's still the case.
Sure.
But
no, people still use it. I'm not saying it's a horrible platform.
I'm just answering my own question here, why there's so many registered users and they're not funded.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, well, I think the funded account maybe is them giving no, it's not.
It's just like people
it's just literally putting their money.
Yeah.
So I'm referring to a funded account as you would see in the likes of Trade the Pool.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
You're saying. No, okay, so
that, you don't think it's that? All right.
I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure, but it doesn't strike me as that right away. You might be right. Let's go on to Gap, highlighting brand momentum amid tariff headwinds. Where's Gap at right now? Let me just flip my chart. Allow me a second, guys. All right, not bad, 2.25%. So Gap posted mixed Q2 results with a slight revenue miss and shares falling in extended trading, but it's up 2.25%, as I mentioned. The company warned tariff-related costs will now total about $150 to $175 million. It doesn't say if that's on the quarter or on the year. That's up from the prior estimate of $100 to $150 million, so costing the company more than anticipated. We'll get to that in a second. Despite the cost pressures, Gap achieved another quarter of positive comparable sales, reflecting the improved execution. Again, comparable sales are sales of the stores that have been open for a year, and we compare it how they did last year. Let's talk about that tariff impact and their mitigation plans. The CEO, Richard Dixon, emphasized mitigation strategies in sourcing, manufacturing, and assortment to offset tariff impacts. That typically means they are getting a lot of their clothing from high tariff jurisdictions. We know that to be China. We know possibly India now, the 50% tariff. Southeast Asia, a lot of these countries also have higher tariffs. So we'll have to see how they mitigate that. They go on to say, though, that tariffs will remain the biggest profitability headwinds for the full year 2025. They didn't mention 26, at least in this article. Let's talk about that marketing and brand engagement. So they were trying to respond to American Eagle with that Sydney Sweeney ad by dropping their own ad here. Ketse and Kelsis milkshake. It was basically a denim ad, and it did quite well on TikTok and other platforms. Gap leaned heavily on social media and these advertising campaigns, which are driving, according to the company, the user engagement here. But there's a hidden gem. apparently here, according to management and analysts, within the Gap family of stores, we know Old Navy, what's it called? Gap, Banana Republic, and there's one more. I know they have an athletic one, but I forget the name. Maybe the chat can fact check me. Banana Republic is the one I'm talking about. They delivered a standout quarter with comparable sales over 4% year over year versus the estimate of 0.2%. So easily exceeding that. CEO labeled Banana Republic as a sleeper in the portfolio, citing tighter assortments, refined product aesthetics, stronger marketing, and improved fit and function.
Athleta, is that?
Athleta, that's it. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother.
Shout out.
Yeah, so that's I know they have a few divisions there, Joey. You know, sold off initially, Joseph, but it's up 2.25 now.
I mean, it received a price target, a lowered price target this morning to $24, I believe, by TD Cowen. But at the end of the day, from a retail standpoint, Sharif, we've seen in the likes of Lululemon's chart, we've seen what Nike's chart's looking like. This isn't too horrible. But I'm going to be honest, I've never shopped at Banana Republic in my life.
No?
And no, I've never.
I got a couple of things from there.
Banana Republics? Yeah.
Nothing
Remember
major.
French Connection? Did
Of
you
course.
ever shop there?
Yeah,
whatever happened to
FC, UK or whatever.
Yeah. Whatever happened to them, man? I used to have a lot of.
I see them at Winners.
Do they have some
stuff at
French
Winners,
Connection stuff there? But anyways, from a technical standpoint, guys, it's not great, but it's not horrible either when you go across the board and look at some of the other kind of retail names here. Lululemon is just an absolute dumpster fire. And then also Nike as well. Not too bad and big time recovery, but it's positive to seeing it holding up around these specific levels here. That's pretty good, I think, for some of these retail names.
Okay, so according to Perplexity, and again, hallucinations are a real thing. They source, Gap, as a company, sources the majority of its clothing from Vietnam, Bangladesh, China, and India. At least 3 of those are very high tariff jurisdictions. I don't know about Bangladesh quite yet. I'll have to do more of a look into that. But Adara, this was sold off initially and bouncing back up now. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, what I think about it is, like, a lot of these stories today, it's kind of what we expected, right? We know SMCI is going to have some accounting issues. We know that tariffs are going to be a concern for retail. And I think that is just, you know, as expected. Now, I think one issue, too, with all the tariffs placed on every location, and we know Apple ran into this issue, you really have nowhere to run and nowhere to hide, right? So, you know, like, let's say, as we talked about, India has tariff issues now. Well, if you were trying to use India as a tariff safe haven, now that you got it, like, tough. You got to deal with something else, right? So I think that's a little bit difficult, just the sheer amount of tariffs being put forward and, I guess, the vast locations of these tariffs. I think retailers will continue to struggle, so I think that's going to be probably an ongoing headwind until and if these tariffs are ever removed.
Respect. All right. So here I did a quick look. Again, Perplexity could be hallucinating, but Vietnam has 20% tariffs, and if you transship through Vietnam, they're 40. We know what transshipments are. Coming from China, stops in Vietnam, gets relabeled, sent to the United States, you're going to get slapped with an extra 20. Bangladesh, 20%. We know China is 51, but we don't know where that's going to be because they're currently in negotiations. And then India, we know now it's between 25 to 50, depending on what kind of a good you are. We talked about this a few days ago. Donald Trump on Wednesday increased it to 50% for certain goods. It's not everything, but it does cover quite a bit. So those are larger numbers because we've seen that base rate of 15. So at least 2 of them are substantially higher. Let's go on to the next story. Okay, fine. We brought this story to you yesterday, but we brought it to you from a different angle. So YouTube and YouTube and Fox were beefing each other as a result of Fox asking for too much in the way of money from YouTube TV to be on their system. YouTube said, they're way higher than their other partners. For their part, Fox said, look, we have all these sports and we want a premium. So they struck a deal to extend the temporary truce, so to speak. Now they've actually struck a deal. So let's go on to that. YouTube and Fox reached a new distribution deal to keep Fox News, Fox Sports, and Fox Broadcasting Network on YouTube TV. It comes after a short-term extension earlier in the week that temporarily avoided the disruptions. The financial terms, though, were not disclosed. The YouTube previously said Fox had been asking for far higher payments compared to its peers. Again, Fox responds to that saying, I got sports, baby. Sports coverage is protected. So if you were worried that you're going to lose out on MLB playoffs or the World Series or the NFL, you needn't worry if you're a YouTube TV subscriber. And there's about 9.4 million of you. You're not going to miss that Texas-Ohio State game either. And you also ensure the NFL season starting in September and the MLB games, as I mentioned, in the World Series. Fox streaming, though, Joey, they've got ambitions, baby. Tensions rose after Fox launched Fox One, a standalone streaming service priced at about $20 a month or $200 a year. Seen as Fox's attempt to strengthen their direct-to-consumer offering while negotiating, that higher distribution fee with YouTube TV and other carriers who hold their platform, Joey.
Well, I think a lot with the streaming wars, it had to do with, I remember a year or so ago, Sharif, it's like, what was the best show that you could get on your platform that's going to attract as many eyes as possible?
Watch.
Well, no, that was the question, right? So it's like, who has the best pipeline of shows, right? Like on Netflix, you have the Wednesdays, the Squid Games, etc. But now I believe that shifted to sports. Who can have the most sports? Who can have the best games? And who's going to pay the most amount of money for these sports events? So that's how I'm looking at it. It's good that YouTube locked this in because someone would just come and grab it in the likes of Netflix or Amazon.
Can you blame Fox and all the other carriers for doing that? Because the actual leagues themselves keep boosting the price. Boys, Neil, I know Sean's got his headphones on. What did the NBA charge lately again? What wasn't it ridiculous? It was like $5 billion or some stupid number like that.
Crazy numbers.
Right?
Crazy. It might have been like 80
So Joey,
billion.
I mean, it's eating into their margins. So can you blame them for increasing the price?
No,
right?
not at all. Not at the end of the day. But that's what I'm getting at. It's like, okay, you need to essentially lock this in because someone else is just going to go out and pay that premium.
Okay, the NHL, the smallest of the leagues. Not even American. What was it? What was it? $7 billion. $7 billion for 10 years. And that's a Canadian company buying the Canadian rights, not even the American rights. Sorry, Joseph. Go ahead.
No, yeah, but just to add what I was saying, if you don't pay that premium, someone else is going to come.
Someone else is going to do it.
And come out and buy it. So
and let's talk. Let's be more honest about it.
Sports hungry.
Let's just even be more honest about it. How long can Fox and these traditional legacy media companies even be able to afford the likes of Meta, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon? If they choose to throw their hat in the ring, there's nobody that has the same amount of money as them, bro. They're going to price everybody out of it.
Amazon's already positioned itself relatively well. And the same with the likes of Apple. Like, have we even heard Apple TV striking any sports deals?
MLS.
MLS? Yeah. Oh, yeah, wow, MLS.
Yeah,
okay, so what if Apple decides that they already have the platform base already set up. So what if they're like, hey, you know what? We're going to get into more sports streaming. We want to get, you know what? Never mind Paramount. We want to buy some UFC rights. We want to grab more NBA rights, more NFL games. We want to have the Christmas game. We want to have the Thanksgiving game. These guys stand no chance, essentially.
I have to agree with that. I think that these guys are really narrowing the pool. Adara, do you kind of agree with that assessment that if these hyperscalers throw their hat into the ring, legacy media is in trouble?
Honestly, yeah, I don't have an opinion much on this side of it. Again, something I feel like I need to understand a little bit more. But what I will find very interesting is the role that the FCC played in all of this. Because if you guys do not realize, the FCC is now run by an individual named Brendan Carr. Now, he has been called, a bit of a, I'll put it this way, very active choice. He has some wild posts on X that we're not going to get into, except for these ones, which are related to the story. So he actually basically pleaded with Google not to... to make sure that these Fox channels remained on YouTube TV so people could watch college football. Then once this got settled last night, he said, enjoy the games this weekend. He's been credited with saving college football, and I'm not joking. So yeah, I think the fact that the FCC or the government got involved in this is another example of that thing I talked about with Cracker Barrel, where the government is getting more and more involved in the ongoings of public companies. And again, the fact that this is happening on social media rather than in the courtroom is another, I think, interesting angle to this. As always, I will take the slightly contrarian approach. I am not a sports watcher. Go Sports. Shout out to Opie, with the exception of CFL. So yeah, in terms of the actual sports element, it's good that people are going to be able to watch stuff. I'll say that. Again, Go Sports. But yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to continue to see how the government is, involving itself with public companies, and B, doing so via social media.
Thank you, Derek.
$76 billion over 11 years, the NBA. NBA.
Wow, with who? Who bought that?
We got some Disney rights in there.
Disney,
yeah, so
NBC,
I think Universal,
Amazon
Prime. So
that's ridiculous. I mean, that's what I mean.
That's why these guys are making $60 million a year. It's crazy.
Tina Man agrees.
It's like, it's ridiculous money.
Redonkulous. All right, let's go on to this story. Intel getting their hands on some money. $5.7 billion worth of investment amid foundry uncertainty to the government. Intel CFO David Zinsser confirmed the receipt of $5.7 billion investment from the U.S. government. Part of the White House's plan to take a 10% equity stake in Intel. So he's got his money. He's got his hands on the money. Funds are aimed at stabilizing Intel's finances and supporting, obviously, U.S. semiconductor leadership. We'll have to see how that goes. The White House said the deal is still being ironed out, quotes, but the Department of Commerce with details is under negotiation, okay? The foundry business strategy here, we know, started under former CEO Pat Gelsinger, sort of canceled, but not really under Lip Bhutan. Let's talk about it. Zinsser suggested Intel may seek outside investments for its foundry division, which manufactures chips for third parties, so they don't design. In that case, the foundry unit's been a source of concern to investors with skepticism about its competitiveness, like rivals TSMC. Additional external funding is seen as Intel's second opportunity to raise capital to support that foundry growth. We'll talk more about that in a second, Joseph.
New traders, listen up. First month free. That's right, we're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite, analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything infinite. Data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description.
Okay, so I have some concerns. So Intel has got two pieces of technology right now that it's really trying to sell to whoever the hell wants to buy it. It's the 14A node process and the 18A node process. The 18A is similar to the Taiwan Semi 3 nanometer, and the 14A is similar to the most advanced 2 nanometer. But this is not new. NVIDIA checked it out. AMD checked it out. Broadcom, a host of different semiconductor companies approached Intel and learned more about these new nodes. None of the companies liked it. None of the companies wanted to buy any discernible capacity from Intel for those two nodes. Instead, they chose to go with Taiwan Semi, despite the fact that they knew, possibly the administration may not like that. Now, why is that, Joseph? And does that current state of affairs continue? What do I mean? If Donald's going to throw several $1 billion into this company, you got to assume Donald's going to want some returns. He doesn't want to look like a bad investment. So how do you get the returns, Joseph, if no one's buying from the company? My opinion, you're going to exercise soft or hard power, depending on how he does it, against NVIDIA, against AMD, and you're going to twist their hand and their arm to buy from Intel. Do you think that that's a feasible thing? And if he does it is a strategy that works?
No, I don't think that's a great idea, to be honest with you, right? Because now you're holding somewhat of a bias. But as for this money that they're receiving, Intel's going to receive, don't they have to reach certain milestones that they've already said that they're not going to?
They get the money anyway, Joseph.
But then, so what's the whole objective of having the milestones?
Well, that was under the previous administration.
Okay, was it? So they said, well, this is what you need. Okay, so at the end of the day, so it's a 10% stake. They're giving them $10 billion, which works out to about $11 billion. So there's a 10% return already on that investment. But if you, again, I don't know what they're going to do. If you can't gain your own customer base, you're going to have favoritism from the government now. So again, you're going to be pushing NVDA and everyone to grab their chips. But is that fair? Is that a level playing field?
I don't think he cares. Just my opinion. I don't think he cares. I think he loses sleep, if he sleeps at all, over the fact that Taiwan Semi is like 90 miles off the majority of Taiwan Semi's capacity is 90 miles off the coast of China.
Well, that's why our guy Howard Lutnick was like, hey, we're going to take away these grants, but you need to invest more in America at the end of the day. So I think that could be something positive as well, too, to look from, because TSMC substantially increased their investment in America, and then also as likes of Texas Instruments as well, too, from like $32 billion to $68 billion. So I think there's some positivity out of that. But again, if you can't gain customers, I don't think you can force other people's hands to buy from them.
I agree 100% on that. Adara, what's your take on this?
There's a massive red flag with this deal, and it has to do with the fact that apparently if Intel I guess in the first 5 years of this deal, at any point has less than 51% of its foundry business, the U.S. is allowed to take an additional 5% stake. Now, why is this significant? Because we know that Lip-Bu was not necessarily a fan of Pat Gelsinger's strategy. In fact, we know that for a fact because he left the board about a year ago. I think it was August. I just looked this up. August 26, 2024. So Lip-Bu left the board while Gelsinger was CEO. And as you can see, Gelsinger did not do wonders for the stock because he was concerned about the foundry angle, which we know Gelsinger loved. So with that in mind, I'm shocked that Lip-Bu would make this deal. Because this deal basically means they have to hold on to the foundry business, which we know they've been trying to sell or divest, which we know has not been historically great for the company. So yeah, honestly, I'm not going to lie, this angle of the deal shocks me. I also think it's interesting that now, about a week or so after it's announced, we get more details. Like, for example, Zinsser, who was briefly actually the co-CEO or co-interim CEO of Intel with MJ Holthaus, Zinsser is saying, oh yeah, like for a while there, we weren't thinking we were going to make our CHIPS Act obligations. I'm like, okay, like that's, a little worrisome. And then we have Caroline Levitt saying the T's are being crossed and the I's are being dotted. So yeah, I think like this deal is, it's a little concerning. I would like to see more things ironed out, that's for sure, as we know they're still ironing out the details. So yeah, I think I'm actually a little bit surprised it got announced as early as it did, I guess would be my take on that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all that this deal got through. I think Donald doesn't care whatsoever about the short-term profitability of Intel. He's looking more from like the longer-term perspective about securing domestic chip manufacturing locally. And if that means, going down a road that maybe Lip-Bu doesn't want to go down. We know Lip-Bu's not a fan of the foundry business. He's criticized Patty G wherever he can get, and he's canceled multiple projects. Germany, Poland fabs are canceled. The Ohio fab is under pause and probably won't get completed until 2030. I think all of that was Lip-Bu's strategy going in. And then they stacked the deck against Lip-Bu. How? By making the connections with China. Come here, Lip-Bu. I need to see you. Calls him to the White House. What does Lip-Bu do the few days after that? Oh, my God.
Good point.
We're selling 10%. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I feel Donald's, he's exercising hard and soft power, and I don't think Lip-Bu likes that, but I don't think Lip-Bu has a say in the decision. That's just my 2 cents, Adair.
Good point.
And with what? Okay, so remember the rumor of, was it Qualcomm that was going to possibly acquire? But they said,
Qualcomm and somebody else.
But they're like, hey, we don't even want the fabs. Like, if we
don't want it.
We can strike a deal, but we don't want the fabs at the end of the day. So yeah, I don't know. I think this name is in big time trouble. I don't know what. The more I read about it, I don't know if the government can save it. So I don't know where I stand personally with Intel.
Yeah, this is a bit of a wild card. Yeah, it's a wild card. I agree with Adair, man. I mean, I don't think Lip-Bu wants anything to do with the fabs. And
nothing to do with the fabs.
No. Well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see if they can get some dang customers. Let's go on here. You might like this story, Joey. Microsoft testing in-house AI model to reduce OpenAI reliance. Tell me more, Satya. Microsoft, as I mentioned, has begun publicly testing one of its in-house AI models called the MAI-1 Preview, aimed at enhancing Copilot features. Somebody actually uses that?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Brother, don't play that, because we know on the previous, obviously I know, but on the previous report, the Copilot growth was absolutely phenomenal, right? At the end of the day.
That's fair. So. I'm pulling your leg.
Obviously, I know you're pulling my leg.
Testing is happening on the on LM Arena, where users can actually evaluate AI models. I didn't even know this thing existed. The MA1 preview will roll out in text use cases for Copilot, so your boy Joey Options will get to use it over the coming weeks with feedback, helping refine the model. The strategies here are to remain with OpenAI, at least for the time being. So Microsoft, as you know, has poured $13+ billion into OpenAI, which according to their latest funding round is now valued at more than $500 billion. Shout out to OpenAI and Altman and company. OpenAI relies heavily on Microsoft's cloud infrastructure to run its models, but we know that OpenAI has looked to diversify, recently picking up some capacity from Google Cloud. Microsoft products like Bing, Windows 11, and Copilot currently integrate into OpenAI's models. But there is tension, plenty of tension. Let's just call a spade a freaking spade right now between the two companies. And you got Elon looking, divide and conquer between these two guys, saying that OpenAI is going to eat Microsoft alive. Microsoft officially listed OpenAI as a competitor in its annual report last year. OpenAI has begun diversifying and partnering with CoreWeave, as I mentioned, Google, Oracle, all to grow to handle their growing cloud demand. OpenAI's ChatGPT now, Joey, 700 million weekly active users, underscoring the competitive overlap. Who does this company think it is? Meta?
Honestly, I heard the most ridiculous stat ever yesterday. So it took OpenAI 8 years less to get 1 billion searches a day than what it took Google.
That's
which
crazy.
Is insane.
Because it's that much better than search.
Right?
Let's just be honest. LLMs are better than search.
8 years less. And it was the fastest growing app of all time. But let's not get this twisted. All of these names are intertwined. Everybody is somewhat connected to the other. We got OpenAI, as you just mentioned, is using Azure's cloud. They're like, okay, never mind. We don't want to use as much Azure as we possibly have to. We're going to start striking deals with Google. Well, guess what? Google has Gemini. They're using cloud as well, too. So a lot of it is intertwined. And then you have Elon coming tweeting for just because I'm not carrying any weight behind that, oh yeah, OpenAI is going to eat Microsoft's lunch. You're just trying to sue the man, and now you're going to say he's going to eat their lunch. So which side are you on? It's either it's Elon versus
whatever's
somebody.
good for him.
But one day it's like literally flip a coin, and he's going to see who's like, okay, you have a face of every other hyperscaler. I'm going to flip a coin, and I'm going to try to start some form of a proxy war with those individuals.
You got to love it. Adara, what's your take on this whole thing? Back and on again, off again beef between Altman and Satya?
Elon is the drama.
Such a drama llama. Like, this man loves the drama, and I don't even, I'm not even meaning that in an insult.
Get him, Elon.
It's just factual. He likes being, he told Dan to shut up, even though Dan Ives is a noted Tesla bull, so kind of a weird look there. But yeah, I mean, with regards to this Microsoft and OpenAI relationship, I have a little bit of as always, there's an infographic for that. This is an older infographic here at XATT Research, just kind of to show what happened here between Microsoft and OpenAI over the years. They first announced plans to invest in OpenAI back in Q3 2019. And then, of course, now 5 years later, they've gotten a little bit more involved. But yeah, I mean, it's not always been a great look for Microsoft, right? The CFO at one point said that OpenAI's investment was going to cut into their profits, which is never a good sign. The investment is massive. I think I will say it certainly helped Microsoft. I'm not going to lie about that. Of course, it's been good for Microsoft, but I think it's also cost Microsoft. And now I think how they resolve this AGI issue with regards to, who gets it first, who gets claims, as they renegotiate this deal, I think this is going to become very consequential very soon. Now, I think also that MAI name is like, come on, guys, you couldn't think of a more fun name.
Honestly, I don't think it's going to be that. That's probably just like the code name internally.
I hope it's just like the code name, like the Juniper or whatever they code.
Well, I think they're going to actually make it probably part of Copilot. I'm assuming they're going to want that Copilot brand that they've been building a lot of goodwill on. Who knows what Satya's got planned there. But yeah, I do always wonder exactly how that relationship's going to develop, especially now weaseling some cloud capacity from Microsoft. Let's just be honest, they're competitors. I don't think Satya is going to like that, and I think there's going to be beef. And you and I have also talked about that AGI angle and the lack of incentive for your boy Altman to declare AGI as a result of what comes with that, with Satya getting a lot more power in what OpenAI does as a result. So any take on that and the intertwining of this? I
mean, I just mentioned the AGI thing, I think, pretty briefly.
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
So yeah, I do think it's going to be something that is consequential, and I think it's tough because I think Altman, to an extent, does have a reason to claim because Zuckerberg wants it too. So does he claim it just because he wants to be first?
But Adara, Zuck says we've reached AGI, and then Altman's, what's it called? LLM could outperform Zuck's, and Altman didn't declare it, right?
Yeah.
Like, what would, you know what I mean?
That's the thing, right?
It's just a statement.
But wasn't
it's
there
kind of hard, and I think it's going to be always like a little bit, subjective, I think, until we get come to a clearer consensus. Yeah, I mean, I think my take is it's going to be of note, but I think it's something for now. I think we have other fish to fry, not something worth worrying about right this second.
Fair. What were you going to say?
What were the parameters? Because if Altman declared AGI, right?
Okay, so there were tests.
No, but what I was saying here, so if Altman declared AGI, didn't something benefit Microsoft from that aspect? Didn't they grab more share?
And Altman doesn't want it. That's what I'm saying to Adara. He's not incentivized to declare AGI because of what precipitates in Microsoft's control. And in addition to that, it's some moving goal goalposts, Joey. I mean, like, there were a bunch of different tests. I forget the name of the test that they called it now, that if it reached over a certain score on this test, then AGI would be declared. It's been scoring better on that for a hot minute, but nobody's declaring AGI. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how this all works out.
We're still in its infancy. We're 3 years into this.
We're barely. This is like, I don't know what year the internet actually took shape on a mass scale. I'm saying 94, 95. That's my memory anyway. That's like being in 97 or 98. That's a joke, okay?
It's a joke.
Yeah, so let's go on to the next one over here. Caterpillar reported, this is a full disclosure, I'm involved in this name. Caterpillar reported earnings yesterday, and where are they at right now? Piece of crap. 1 second, let me swear at it over here. We're down 4.25%, but we're not that far off all-time highs on CAT. All-time highs, by the way, in the 440s, we're down to 416. So Caterpillar raised its estimate of tariff costs for 2025 to $1.5 to $1.8 billion, up from the prior 1.3 to 1.5. So a bit of a revenue, not a revenue, an earnings per share headwind there. The Q3 tariff hit is expected to be about $500 to $600 million, reflecting the new levy since the August earnings report. So they've adjusted that look. The company did warn operating profit margins will now be closer to the bottom of its target range that it previously guided. As a result, we've seen what the sell-off looks like here, but I'm still bullish on the company. Sales guidance remains unchanged, though, because the revenue is going to be revenue. It's about profitability, right? Unchanged at nearly $65 billion total for all of 2025, slightly higher than 24. At $65 billion in sales, margins are projected to be about 16 to 20%, but Wall Street currently models about 17% there. So, you could say the midpoint a little bit higher than the expectations. Tariffs also could have an approximately 1 percentage point off margins, or about $500 million off that operating profit. The reaction of the stock, I mentioned, down 4.25. Despite the dip, CAT's still up about, I want to say, give this accurately, up 15.8% year to date. At the time of the writing of this article, is 20%. And then you have Baird cut their 2025 EPS forecast by 105 down to 1740 and trimmed the price target down to 495, but they kept the buy rating. Citi as well noted the tariff impact was expected, and competitors may face worse pressure, giving what they call CAT an advantage in North America, Joey. 54% of analysts rate, though, CAT as a buy, and near the S&P 500 average of about 55% or so.
Yeah, I'm going to go along those lines, too, because I think that CapEx is going to funnel somewhere aside from cloud. How do you build these data centers, Shreve?
You got to build, baby.
You got to use heavy machinery at the end of the day. And what is one of the most popular companies that are across the globe is Caterpillar. So if you're building in Saudi Arabia.
Headline: Musk XAI sues engineer for allegedly taking secrets to OpenAI. We're going to see a lot more of this.
Yeah.
We're going to see a lot more.
He's going to continue.
Both ways, bro. It's not just Zuck.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, I think now it's just a pissing contest at the end of the day. But what I'm getting at, Shreve, is that we get the rate cut.
Yep.
What is that going to do for home builders, right? They're going to start trying to build more homes, obviously the lending rate being significantly cheaper, but then with the data centers as well, too, as I just mentioned, across the globe. You're going to go to Saudi Arabia. I know they use a lot of CAT there. North America, you're having all these major hyperscalers investing in a bleep ton of money into America. You got to start somewhere, and you start from the ground up, and I think Caterpillar is the way to go on that one.
All right, Adara. CAT, earnings, thoughts?
I don't have too many thoughts on this. The volume on this is usually a bit lighter, and even as a spready taker, I do find it a little, just awkwardly moving things around so I can scroll up here because I'm holding the button. So Caterpillar, this is like a spready taker that doesn't even get much volume on earnings day. So intraday, it's a bit harder. I think the tariff cost estimate increase is a little bit of a concern, but we already kind of knew there would be some tariff-related headwinds anyway, right? I guess it's just the extent of them are a bit of a concern. But the fact that their sales guidance remains unchanged, that actually, in my opinion, might even be the bigger issue, right? Because if you're going to get higher tariff impacts, it would be nice if you could also be like, oh, but we have higher sales too. The fact that they don't, that might be the bigger issue here. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Right now, it actually looks like it's maybe doing a bit of a double bottom. We might push higher. I don't know. Intraday, I think it's a nothing burger, but we'll see.
Okay. Thank you, Adair.
Double top daily too.
Double
Adair.
top on the daily?
Yeah,
Oh,
see there,
no.
see,
Time to sell?
No, I don't think
I'm
so. I
playing,
think, yeah, obviously. But if you crack neckline, you might see some more downside. Some good stuff here. Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
I
man,
just want to see from this April lows.
Where are we at?
Well, there we go. Thank you. Embarrassing. 54%.
Not bad.
Right? Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
Not bad, yeah,
Outpacing the market, right?
What was that level there?
This one?
Price level, yeah.
This is the April lows?
Yeah, the
third
price,
one?
the price.
Oh, the price?
270?
270.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 270 up to 416 where we're currently trading at.
Why are you guys dressed like that today? Canadian holiday? I was just a little cold outside, brother. That's why I didn't wear a t-shirt. And your boy Joey Shivers is always cold, so that's
You got to wear the linen. What do you mean dressed like that, though? What is it?
I don't know. I didn't understand
What do you mean
what
by that, man?
Maybe because of the long sleeves, I'm assuming.
What do you mean
'cause-
by that?
Get him, Joe. All right, last but not least over here, let's get to the Fed Cook, or former Fed Governor Lisa Cook, facing new criminal referral amid Trump's firing push. Adair is going to give us a deep dive on this. Let's go. Let's start with the headline here. So FHFA Director Bill Pult announced a second criminal referral to the Department of Justice against Fed Governor Lisa Cook, alleging misrepresentations on a property and mortgage filing. The claims focus this time on a Cambridge condo Cook financed back in 2021 as a second home, later listed as an investment rental property in the federal ethics disclosure. Pult says Cook may have benefited from the lower mortgage rates and down payments by misclassifying the property status. Underline that, may have benefited. We'll have to see if she actually did benefit. These are allegations. The allegations include multiple properties, as you recall. The extent to 3 homes Cook owns, one in Cambridge, one in Ann Arbor, and the other one in Atlanta. Department of Justice is already probing her Atlanta property, where Cook allegedly misrepresented the rental status of the property. Pult also claims Cook misclassified her Ann Arbor residence in 2025 as a personal home, though it was allegedly rented out at the time. Again, underline that word allegedly. We need more proof. The legal battle, though, over Trump's authority to actually fire Cook. Earlier Thursday, Cook sued Trump, seeking to block his unprecedented attempt to fire her from the Fed board. Trump previously had cited Pult's first criminal referral in his firing notice. The case tests, really, whether the U.S. president can legally remove Fed governor, quote, for cause, a move without modern precedent. Underline that word, modern. The political context here is also important. Pult, which is obviously appointed by Donald Trump, has become more an aggressive critic of the Fed. Powell and Cook. Trump has long pressured the Fed, as we know, vis-a-vis his pressure tactics on Chair Jerome Powell to cut rates, and even considered firing Jerome Powell before moving against Cook. Cook, the first black woman Fed governor, is facing increased scrutiny and public political attacks. Joseph, what do you make of this latest addition in this saga?
It's very interesting stuff. I like how you mentioned, what was it, the New Hampshire residence in 2025?
So there's Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
And then there's there's Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
Excuse me, over here. Where is it at, Joey? Where is it at? Where is it? Ann Arbor residence.
Yeah.
That's the one, but it's 3.
That was the one in 2025, right? There's 3 of them. Okay, so anyways,
Ann Arbor, Cambridge, and Atlanta.
Okay,
Sorry, yeah.
So, but what I'm hearing as well is that the 2 prior to the Ann Arbor, she wasn't on the board. So
she wasn't on the board
when she was filing whatever paperwork for that. And then also they're saying, could it be a DocuSign error in this? I don't personally know.
That's what she's saying, right? Clerical error?
I mean, right? So at the end of the day, I don't know, but 2 of these claims, and it's only a probe. She hasn't been charged with anything just yet.
Not yet.
So again, two of the properties she owned before she was even on the Fed.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to implement.
Well, I don't think it changes the criminality of it,
aspect.
But, you know,
yeah, exactly.
maybe perhaps while she's in office, it makes a difference. We'll have to see. Adair, you did a deep dive. Let's hear it.
Did I ever? So we're going to talk about this here, guys.
I can't hear you. Yeah.
What we're doing here, sorry, I'm going to have to scroll. Well, this is going to be awkward.
No problem.
I have to scroll while I go. So basically what happens is I want to talk about a lot of this. I'm going to be clear, guys. I'm going to be as neutral about this as I can. People, I'm going to have arguments for both sides of the aisle here.
Go.
So I'm just going to chat. I apologize in advance. Let's get into it, though. So I want to start here with these allegations about Gia Cobb, who was the judge in the Lisa Cook case, and Lisa Cook saying that they're in the same sorority. I looked into this. They were part, or I guess they were both members here of the same sorority, Delta Sigma Theta. However, in completely different states and different schools. So I want to clarify that. There's no evidence that they're like got a secret sorority connection, but I do want to say as well, though, the argument for that to be made does exist because we already had the international president of the sorority speaking out in favor of Lisa Cook. So you can make the sorority argument to an extent, but the sorority is massive. Like Serena Williams was a part of it too. So it's huge. I just want to address that right away because I've seen a lot of people say, oh, they went to school together. No, they never did. Let's clarify that right off the bat. Now let's get into the existing here. I guess we'll call this bias against Cook because it exists a lot more than I thought it did. So for one, J.D. Vance and Peter Navarro, going back to 2022, were vocally against her appointment.
Sorry, I just have to pause you.
Yeah.
Great
Please
information.
do.
I just have to tell everybody Google's breaking out on this headline. Alphabet's Google set to face modest, underline that, modest antitrust fine over ad tech practices. That came in at 159. So that's possibly why Google is breaking out right now. Sorry to interrupt you, Adira. I know you're trying to read, so it's kind of hard.
There it is, right there. There's the volatility and the volume spike right there. So continue, Adira.
Go ahead. Sorry to.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. So I'll probably do like a whole X post about this because I just have there's a lot here.
No,
But yeah,
we want to hear
the
it,
fact
man.
that two prominent members of Trump's administration spoke out about Lisa Cook 3 years prior to this happening is, I think, pretty interesting. And it's also worth noting here too. I went back and looked at some of the voting for the other Biden-era appointees for the Fed. Jefferson got voted in by the Senate Banking Committee 24-0, so he was unanimously voted in. Fed's Barr had a very reasonable vote. Lisa Cook's vote was entirely party line. So there was already, I guess, a lot of issues here that the Republican Party had with her. They actually posted a tweet thread arguing against her appointment. That's the Republican side of the Senate Banking Committee. So lots of interesting stuff here. I guess their issue was that she had posted some tweets they deemed political. They were all retweets, but make of that what you will. The point I'm trying to make is there has been a little bit of a history here with regards to how certain people on certain sides of the aisle feel about Lisa Cook. And I think that context and color is really important when you consider the current allegations and the context. Because as you said, they moved away from Powell here. I was wondering, why didn't they move to Jefferson or Barr? Well, I think that's because they already view it there as an existing case for Feds Cook. And with that, I will step off of my very controversial hot seat.
No, I think that was a great take. Thank you for giving us that information. I didn't know anything about the sorority. That's another, another piece to add into the puzzle. Thank you, Adair, for that. And Joseph,
What
see
time
that
is
time,
it?
baby?
What time is it?
What time is it?
Oh, wow.
It's almost
what
2:02. What the hell? No, it's all good. This guy.
What's going on with
Neil's
this?
like, it's 1:58. We gotta go. We got another couple.
We can't have a
No,
piece
play.
like this giving us the wrong time here.
Wow.
Now, can we? That's insane, my
You
brother.
just got that watch too.
Brother.
You might have to give them a call.
Yeah, I
Joey.
got to call these guys and see
All
what they're
right,
up
guys.
to.
I hope everybody has a fantastic long weekend, guys. Stay safe and enjoy time with family, friends, or whatever you guys are doing. Joey Options, leave them with a thought, baby.
Sorry. No, it's the long weekend, guys. Enjoy it. If you're in Southern Ontario, have fun at the exhibition. Don't eat too much of the garbage food. Go check out the casino. I've spent some times at some of those tables. Been a good time. Everyone, enjoy the long weekend. Happy Labor Day to Canada and the States.
Yo,
Yeah,
Joe just made me
Monday,
think, what is the special dish at the X this year? There's always something. If
My family normally goes,
yeah,
but not
like,
this year.
We didn't go this year either. Oh, you know why it is? Every Labor Day,
Kids are going
in downtown Toronto, there's like a fair that opens up, and it's like the busiest weekend, of course, is like the weekend before school. Everyone goes down there. But we usually have our fantasy draft on Labor Day
No, the
weekend.
X doesn't open up this
but-
weekend.
Well, what's crazy is my wife usually, when we're drafting, she takes my daughter to the X.
Oh,
It's like,
okay.
well, why are we doing it this weekend? That's why. But they always have these crazy dishes. Like,
Yeah, they had
I'm
like mustard ice cream.
yeah, mustard ice cream, which
My family tried that. It's,
to each their own.
No, I don't
I'm
think
sure
I'd
it
like-
tasted like it sounds.
they had mustard and ketchup apparently. I don't know. I don't know what the new thing is there this year.
That's nonsense.
Google's trying to go here, by the way.
Yeah, good news for Google.
Nice
I
upside
think.
play there. I still have the same positions from before, but here goes Google right now on EU. It's just, what a move there. The EU antitrust, I guess, is about to drop some sort of a penalty on them right here. Yeah, not yet, but Google's set to face modest.
Modest.
I think the word there is modest that we're looking for.
What's modest for a company as big as
EU, I don't know,
Alphabet?
billion. Modest EU antitrust fine over ad tech practices. So, I think that's the best part about all of these things that happen here with these tech companies is like, if it's just going to be a fine and no change of business, then fine. You know, like obviously they're going to have to adjust it, but these guys can pay cash.
I mean, $371 billion in revenue.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, what is the penalty going to be here? Slap on the wrist at the end of the day, and it looks like Google shareholders and whatnot agree with some of that assessment, because there it goes right now, up 0.57 in a bad market. I mean, we're down 1.36% right now, and the Nasdaq just keeps on getting lower. It seems like we still have. I got to get a position on here before it updates. Neil's got one on right now with Rivian and Intel. Actually, you're going either way, so that's interesting. But we still have this Qs trade on, and still from the beginning. We don't have very many shares left. We didn't at the beginning either. We did have 15% of AMD left when we left you guys, and whoop. There's the short, the purple flowers built today, nice and strong. And we actually got, this is when I was on the midday show, and I wasn't on it, but the midday show was on, and I was like, oh, wow. And Sharif's like, what are you talking about? And it was this. It was the play here on AMD, because it's looking like it wants to get lower there, and made a new low at about 130. So yeah, the tech names today not doing great, led by, unfortunately, Marvell, that is now below 64, where we bought a little bit more shares here. So yeah, you know, probably a 3-day rule good on this one. Down 20%, not a great day for Marvell and some of the other names as well. Yeah, I didn't even have a look at
Dell as well.
Dell as well. Yeah, I didn't look at what Snowflake and some
Dell's
of these
down
like
10%.
Yeah, wow.
I mean,
okay, Dell down 10 is not good. Snowflake down 2. MDB. I just want to check some of the names that have been going off here recently, see if they are giving some pullbacks as well. Yeah, Mongo down 3% as well. So yeah, the names continue to struggle here today, but we're not struggling at all. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, keep it going. We are going to have the rundown up soon when Sharif gets back. We're going to run, yeah, no worries. We're going to run through all that in a matter of time, and then we'll be able to go through our tracker to see what.
Yeah, we got to give Sharif like a couple of extra moments here today, and I'll tell you this right now. You know,
crying?
So credit where credit is due, because ultimately. If the Buffalo Bills had traded away Josh Allen, like, you know, I'd have a rough time putting on a brave face.
There's no way the Bills would do that
all day long. Of course, the Bills wouldn't be stupid enough to trade a franchise player that's a first ballot Hall of Famer and an absolute legend and a difference maker on his team. Because when you're trying to win, you want to make sure you put the best teams on the field. So, you know, I want to give a big shout out to Sharif. It takes a lot, because I know you've got to be hurting, and all you Dallas fans out there. I feel for you. I don't really feel for you, but I feel for you, and I get to say that because he whooped our butts in the Super Bowl 2 years in a row, and I remember getting to hear from it as a kid from Dallas fans. It is what it is. But going back to this market, like Dell, we're gonna go over the names. I don't know that this will make the name of the rundown. I doubt it, because not a lot of people were talking about Dell. You got to keep in mind, like this actually faked out last night to the upside. And sometimes we always talk about, well, if it's not that bad in the report, sometimes you get a bit of a bounce. Okay, so it held a pretty key low. This did the exact opposite of that. Like, it rejected that low and has just continued to look like worse and worse. And, you know, this could be one of those, you know, a couple of days before you even think about where the bottom might be here. So there's a lot of weak names. I know it's easy to pick on Marvell a little bit, but that's to me, Marvell. I expect Marvell to have that kind of volatility. How many people thought Dell was going to be down 10% today after the way that report opened last night? Let's see what's on the rundown here today. My guess is there's going to be some chip names on there, because they've been moving a heck of a lot, and none of them up. Well, actually, that's not true. Micron, I think, was doing okay.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. The big boys are ready. They're locked, they're loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers up there is to vote every day in the chat. Throw in a $, then followed by whatever ticker you like. Get into that chat and vote every day, guys. Here, let's look at the 4 major averages to start before we go on to the rundown. Top left of your screen, the worst performing major average of the day. That is the Triple Q NASDAQ ETF, down almost 1.25%, trying to hold 570, guys. Bottom left is the IWM, down 0.56. On top right is the ES, down 0.2%, guys. And the Dow faring the best on the day, only down a 0.5%. down into that 455 area. The first ticker, though, as decided by you, MRVL. And what a sell-off this has been. They issued, Q3 sales guidance within the midpoint, but kind of below estimates. The market didn't like that, so trading lower than that $78 closing print from yesterday.
I mean, they're worried about this cautious guide there on the silicon. We talked about that. I mean, I thought we could have read through a little bit more on NVIDIA's call, because NVIDIA was saying data centers were a problem, and that's huge for Marvell. So I think we could have done a little bit better there on the due diligence side of things there, and had a better idea of potentially where Marvell was going to go. But I made a mistake thinking that, when we talked about all the demand that came from NVIDIA's quarter was actually quite good. I mean, the fact that they're down 3% today is actually even more of a shock to me. But we were playing short on the market, and Marvell was part of that story. Just not. Their guide was fine. They did give a low end to the guide that I don't think the street was expecting. So yeah, I mean, bombs away here today, unfortunately, for Marvell, down a little bit. Down a lot, down 18%. We bought a little bit more, is what I was going to say today, at $64. It's in the long-term account. Not that really matters at the end of the day. You don't want to have losing trades anywhere, but we do believe in the game. We believe in the story here with AI, and it's just today, the pain is in this trade, and it's gotten hit, and it's under the 50 period, it's under the 200 period. Probably wasn't the greatest idea to think about a long there yesterday until we get that report. It's just, was thinking it might have gone the other way, and we saw we're going to get to Dell, well, we won't, but they're down also today, and it's just not a great day for the chip names. We're $6 in the money short on AMD without any news specific to AMD other than the China story, right?
The China story is a big one. I
think it's big for everybody. But Marvell, again, they have the deal with Microsoft. I'm fine holding on to this, but yeah, mistake made getting shares here before earnings. We've done well on other plays doing that, but yeah, today Marvell downside there on weakness, and the guide was not great, and they're getting punished for it, as they probably should. So.
Well, I mean, they're going to have a 16 PE at the end of this.
There's reasons why I like the stock.
16. I mean, that's just napkin math, because the forward before was just under 19. They came as expected, or a slight beat. So, knock off. I mean, the price went down 18%. So, knock a few bucks off there. Knock off $3 for easy math, and it's like 15 something. So if it falls again next week, you could be under a 15 PE on a growth chip stock.
Does seem crazy.
It does seem crazy in this market. That's usually the market would love something like that. So yeah, I think this is going to be firmly in this is not the right space to compare it to what Fortinet did, where it seems so bad right now, in this moment where everyone's reacting to the China news and any little disappointment and this Friday sell-off, all that kind of good stuff. If this gets down underneath $60 next week and catches any kind of a bid, I think there might be a nice little relief rally in Marvell. You get under 15 on a PE for a stock like this. And I'll go find the historical PE just to double check at some point when things slow down. But it just seems like that's going to be an odd little value play that you might be able to grab. And we've seen more than double-digit names catch really impressive bids when it seems like all what is broken loose. Just an example, Fortinet, that first day, that was as bad as it got, and then that was your opportunity to get in. That was as bad as it got, and once it was clear it wasn't getting any worse, it was a nice little buy. It didn't give you that. I mean, you got 10% for a bounce play if you bought it on day 2 with Fortinet, but you got that in a week and a half. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to take much to set up something for 10% next week on Marvell. But step 1, stop making some lows. Open up higher on Monday. Let's see if we can do that.
Just an update on that Google story, guys, before we go on to open. So it looks as if your sources are saying that the fine that Google will have to face from the EU will be substantially smaller than the $4.3 billion record penalty that was imposed against them back in 2018. So the market liking that. I'm just getting word that Google is up on the day, so I just want to point that out to you guys. All right, the next ticker here, OPEN, still seeing the same short float, 21.5%. We'll have to wait for the update on that, but it's up about 2.5% here well off the highs as a result of the president of Open Door, guys, picking up 30,000 shares at an average price of $4.28 each. He's in the money here, boys, by about 10 pennies.
All right, get those 30,000 shares.
It's funny because his total position now is 4.28 million shares.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't.
So it's like, what?
So he bought,
even that
he added,
0.28 doesn't matter.
He added 3% to his holdings. Is that
No, way less. 4 million shares.
Oh God, no, never. No, I was thinking $4 million.
Yeah.
So that would have been. So that's actually, yeah, it's entirely way less. It's under 1%. So as far as the catalyst goes for that,
It ain't a lot.
man. Yeah, you know what? In my head, I did the math the wrong way.
Like he has 400.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 4.3 million shares.
Yeah, I thought it was 4.3 million worth. He bought another 120K worth, so
That
that's
would
like
make
3%.
more sense, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, that's not a big catalyst. You might think differently about the short if you realize it's less than 1%. That's less than meaningless.
Is that right? I mean, that's
No,
numbers
you're
that
right. I know. I was interpreting it wrong this morning.
Okay, because that's what we
right.
wrote that down. I just want to double check.
Look, I know some people are in this one, and 420 held. Right? So remember yesterday it held at the 420 level. It's a squeeze momentum play, so sometimes the catalyst isn't good enough. That's not that fundamental. Ultimately, there was one reversion, should have held it longer, all that kind of stuff. But the good news, here's the good news for Open. This stock is still managing to make higher lows. And that's despite the multiple failures at $5. Every single time it has breached the $5 level, it has managed to, oh no, it closed at 503 on this day. It's like the one time it closed at 503. Every other day it's been a big time reversal. So you know what has to happen for the shorts, like the recent shorts, to get squoze, right? You need to close above $5. And when that happens, you'll start to see maybe a little bit more panic in the stock, and then we can have another leg up. Otherwise, your 4 to 420 has been your little bit of an Alamo. It's not really moving much today, but you can. Here, I'll go to a 3-minute. You can see it on the 15, but maybe you can see it a little bit better on the 3. See what's going on here at $4.45? Like, to the wick, to the wick, to the wick. Exactly $4.45 has been holding basically since 11 o'clock. Since we left you, that's been holding. So 446 long and see what happens this afternoon. Like, that's the only trade I think I'd be interested in Open, is if it can get through this seller that happens to be there at $4.45. But good luck to anyone that's in the long. Like I said, the good news is it's holding on to that $4 level. That catalyst was comically worse than I thought.
They finally were EBITDA positive, so their first time since 2022. So at least that, I think, is a great.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's a good one. And then again, we talked about it. I actually saw Sharif on the midday show. He was talking about going in there and buying some BYD, right? And it's like
BYD.
He was going to do it on the computer, and then he flipped over and said it's way easier to do it on my phone. And I agree. I do all my trading on the phone, and I think that this is an awesome opportunity for Open Door. Again, like something, just a different system completely than what we're used to. We don't have it here in Canada, but it's that whole strategy, right, of using the apps, using the internet, just to make things bigger. They're into high margin businesses now, like escrow and lending and things like that. So we'll have to see if Open Door can continue to make it work, man. 3% up is nice. I think, yeah, you always want to try to fade key levels, but $5 came into play again, and it looks like it wants to go. So, I mean, again, I like the business, and I think there's more tailwinds than headwinds. It's just it's up a lot, and it's tough when you look in July and you see this name was sub $1, and now it's $5. That's a big move, right? And so there's Open Door right now. I'm not in it at all, so we'll wait and see if there's any opportunities to maybe get in this name today, but I think it's worth a shot, especially if it gets down into this $3 level. So we'll see if that comes through tomorrow. Or Monday. You're always looking. It won't. $3 is too much, but you're always looking at these wick tops all the time, and it's just you never know. So if this thing comes back in, I think it might be worth it there.
If you
I don't
like
know.
it,
I don't like that Eric Johnson guy sitting there with a sign outside of Drake's. I was like, it's very meme-ish, which is fine, and I think most people understand that.
Yeah.
And so as long as you do that, then you wait for it. So.
It also didn't work, which is
Tuesday is our next day.
That's
here.
the sad thing.
My bad.
The sad thing is that it literally didn't work.
Yeah.
Come on, man, you got to be able to figure that out.
Yeah, I don't know. The guy's Canadian apparently. I didn't even know that. Adair told me that.
Well, that's the idea, but still, man, Try to pick somebody that has a following that might actually respond to you, right? Like that's like plan.
I already gave the plan. I gave this yesterday live on the recap show. We send a Dara to Drake's house with a sign that says, you know, buy, or you, Neil, or Joe. Let's send Miami Joe over there. Look, yeah, let's send any of us.
Sharif lives right beside you.
Get him and Adara. You go literally right beside. He's like they're neighbors.
Yeah.
So the thing is that if you do that, then I think that would work. But I don't want to say buy Open Door. I want Adara or Sharif to hold the sign that says watch Trader TV.
Well, that's
live.
much better for us.
Open
It better
Door.
not have been Open Door.
But here it is right here. What's up to Top VoIP? I just want to see, this is just like a channel check here, so I didn't even read this comment yet. I used Open Door, and if you want to buy and sell a home, you will still be put in touch with a local agent, so I'm not sure what the difference is. So there you go, right? And so this is what I'm saying about channel checking and things like that. So those of you that have used it maybe aren't seeing the advantage that I thought existed with that Open Door model. But again, yeah, shout out to you, Top VoIP. If anybody else has used it there, let me know how Open Door has been, because I think that's another case, right? I mean, Carvana, nobody thought that you would be buying cars from a vending machine or anything like that, and the next thing you know, Carvana's popping off. So I think that there's some value in all of these plays, that's for sure. So, okay, let's go back over and see what Sharif wants to talk about next. Well, we know what it is. It's Alibaba.
True.
It's up big, Sean, 13% and change, but you already know that. Couple of headlines here for Baba. One, they reported earnings, not bad. Missing that 213 EPS expected by the street, but it was a beat basically everywhere else, and excellent cloud growth revenue, which is kind of their AI. But they're also looking at expanding into the chip design business, specifically advanced AI chips for these LLMs. Reports coming out of China that they're very much looking at replacing the H20 model with a better China-made variant, guys. So Baba, 13.15 in Greensville.
What a monster, Alibaba.
China, never heard of it.
Just very quickly, Rivian, I had it over VWAP. It was kind of like yesterday. Yesterday we had a breakout play in Rivian at the same price, and it happened to be clearing VWAP at the same area that it broke in yesterday in the afternoon. But once it's under, I'm going to jump out of that trade. And before we get to Alibaba, just want to shout out to VinFast, delivering over 35,800 EVs in Q2 of 2025, marking a 172% jump from last year. That brings their first half total to more than 72,000 EVs. Up over 220% year over year. With stronger sales usually in the second half, they're on pace to easily double 2024's 97,000 units. They're also crushing it on two-wheelers, with nearly 70,000 e-scooters and bikes sold in Q2, up 432% from a year ago. With the gas-powered two-wheelers being phased out in both Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City by 2026, the growth potential looks huge. You can find them on the NASDAQ under ticker VFS. Shout out to VinFast and thank them for sponsoring this segment of the show. Shout out to Alibaba for, just being amazing. The sad thing about the only bad news for Alibaba is it didn't let anybody in. Like there were some really good opportunities. Obviously, at any point long, you could have had it because it's still holding near the highs. But when you have a competing chip right now for NVIDIA's, when the Chinese government's like, we don't want you guys using NVIDIA's chips, like that's a big deal. And almost getting overshadowed, that story was the fact that they also had a good quarter. Like, their cloud growth was in the mid 20% growth rate, which, that's better than Amazon's was. So it's like 40% better than Amazon's cloud growth. It's just incredibly impressive. The only frustration is I liked 122 and 125. You didn't snip those prices. It's going to look like, but it broke out. That's a clean breakout. That happened at 8:30 in the morning. This breakout here happened on the number. So, what are you going to do? Well, it should have just been take the breakout of a local high. That also happened right at the open. But Alibaba has done nothing but trend up and up and up. For this afternoon, I know it's a strong stock. It is about to break the trend from the actual open breakout for the first time on a 15-minute chart all day long. It's 2:20 in the afternoon. And it's doing that now on a 15-minute chart right in here and consolidating off of that. So to me, this actually looks like a pretty solid shot at a mean reversion trade, and it only took the entirety of the day to do it. On a daily chart, this seems like a clean breakout. I know some people don't like investing in Chinese names. I wish I had held on to more of this, but you know, I thought when taking profit, because this was a long time ago. This was last year. I was buying Alibaba last year, and then didn't buy it when it hit the 200 period once, or rebuy back in the 2/3 that I sold. Didn't buy it again when it hit the 200 period, and now it's going. So you know, sometimes you buy and hold, but you should also be buying the dips. And Alibaba gave you that chance multiple times. We say you like the 200 period moving average, and fine, I'll admit it. I like buying Amazon at one point. I like buying Meta over. There's a lot of stuff that I picked over Alibaba. So you know, you make your choices, and Baba's doing fantastic for anyone that has it.
Yeah, Alibaba, great trade over there, especially in the swing accounts, because it's been a huge move up. And like I remember buying that name like in COVID times, it went up to $300 and something. So there is a lot of room to run. And I just wanted to say that, you know, we often put out notes. We all put out notes every day, but the sticky note there was the only long that we had on here. We had Webull, we'll talk about that, but as far as Alibaba, and it's just as Neil said, it got going real early and there's nothing we could do about it. We knew the earnings were solid, we knew they had the chip news, and then it just went. So, you know, sometimes you're going to not miss calls, but we had the right idea. It's just sometimes you don't know how excited the stock market or the stock itself is going to get. And Alibaba just kept on going today. And the only area really, I mean, you had a dip buy right there at 12. That could have came in a little bit, but I assume the 200 period would have been a little bit lower at that time anyways. So, but yeah, no, not well traded today because the long was in from the morning and we didn't have it at any time. And it's just kind of like this move that's happening on Google right now. Just got a message too. Well, we know the same friend of ours that invests in some of the tech names there, starts with a B and ends with an A, was just messaged me. It's like, Google's at all-time highs. I'm like, shit, I sold some down there at 160. But yeah, Google continues to make that nice move there on just a few $few billion in EU fine, nothing too much, dust the dirt off the shoulder there. But yeah, Google, nice acceleration here on that news. That dropped right on the midday, by the way, right at the end of the midday. Yeah. And if you just played that news story, then you'd have had about $2.50 worth of a win there. I think this is overextended. I saw some traders in the chat saying that this is just a little bit too much respect to Google for, you know, that fine, but I don't know how much of the stock was weighed on based on waiting for this decision. So sometimes when you get this final verdict or whatever the rumor is here, I don't think it's actually been laid down. I think it's, is it Bloomberg or somebody reporting this? But Google with a nice upside play here to end your Friday. If you're Google shareholders, congratulations. I'm actually anxious to get off right here and be able to find out how many shares I still do have, because I definitely exited out of some of them there on Google. It was my largest position, and I wish it still was, but am I going long into
Sometimes
the close?
You got to trim stuff.
Yeah, but shouldn't have, I guess. But I was nervous because, honestly, I thought with AI and everything, and that, you know, their ad business would have slowed, which it has. It has slowed. It's, of course, yeah, it's just the cloud kept going, and
YouTube, baby.
YouTube was huge. YouTube, I think I've heard of YouTube. That's an online streaming thing. I think so. Yeah, and apparently if you stream in really 4K, you know, you're pretty hype right there.
About
so, yeah,
that. My thing literally crashed. I had to just log back into the chat.
So we're going to say that if you are having problems with the stream, we're going to go in 4K from now on. So either you kind of got to upgrade your PC or shut other things down. Okay, oh, there you go. It's back to 1080. So hopefully I don't know why yours crashed then.
It did, though. I just logged back into it.
Well, we're back to 1080p, so hopefully you guys aren't having some of those problems. We did have some audio issues earlier, and we're just we're gonna figure everything out.
You can't see my wrinkle.
With all of that. Yeah, what's up now? What's up now, everybody? All right, so let's go back over to the desk, and we'll talk about, let me think about what stock is next. I think it's probably going to be Tesla, I think. That's my guess. What are you guessing?
GameStop.
GameStop. Okay, I'm going to switch mine to AMC. All right, let's go find out what it is.
AMC is a good one. It could be.
Yeah. PanW. Let's go find out
what the hell is going on over there. We're not talking about GameStop. But guys, I want to update you. So the Google News here, the sources, are saying that the EU will announce the decision against Google's ad tech practices in the coming weeks. So no quantum issued about the fine and no exact date as to when we expect that decision, other than to say within the coming weeks. Let's look at the next stock here, TSLA, without a headline on the day, but it is at day's lows, guys, 3.88, looking to lose lose here 4%, and it's given up the entire week's gains. It was squeezed up, as you can see there on Friday, continued into Monday and Tuesday, and then since that time, boys, lower lows and lower highs.
Well, you guys can mock GameStop all you want, but if you invested $10,000 in GameStop at the close yesterday, you'd still have close to $10,000. If you invested that in Tesla, well, then you'd only have like $100.
96.
Oh, it's okay,
Well, it's almost 4%.
Almost 96.
Almost 4%. Plus, you got to pay some fees.
So you could knock GameStop all you want.
What's Ramin laughing at over there, by the way?
I have no idea what she's laughing at. No, oddly enough, GameStop.
Well, tell us how you really feel.
Why you always got to harp on Ramin, by the way? Ramin's so sweet. She's so nice. She's kind to everybody. She brings in like candies and chocolates.
It's been a minute since she brought in some chocolate. I have to.
It has been a while since she's.
I mean, I'm still distributing Nimrod's chocolate over here, so.
Yo, thank you so much. Those are so good.
Here you go, Neil.
Tesla. Oh, thank you.
No problem.
Are there even any left? Oh, there's a few of those. There's a few left. Now there's not any left.
All right, here you go.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So it's like you guys can't see that. Icelandic.
Hands like CeeDee Lamb over there.
Hands like CeeDee Lamb?
Oh, Joe drops it, blames the light.
Come on, you can't.
No, he's a hockey player.
Blames the lights.
I hit the guy in the hands, and he dropped
Blames
it.
the lights. Well, you know,
He's
used to putting the puck in the back of the net.
He's a hockey guy. He's a hockey guy over there.
You can't see Ramin. Yo, what's going on?
Ramin, I have some chocolates over here for you. Send Fabian. I want to give you guys some chocolate.
Hold on, hold that sign. Hold that first. See the screen that she gets to work with? That's pimp, man. She's got the curved.
Get over here, Ramin.
No,
everyone wants to see you.
First of all, we don't have the curved monster screen. Ramin gets the curved monster screen.
Whoever.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yes, she got 1 for 2, Ramin.
That's
one
what I'm
for
talking
2
about.
on the catch.
Don't hate on Ram. But you can hate on Tesla. I was joking about the GameStop Tesla thing. We're not going to talk about GameStop. It's literally not moving, which, you know, if you're not going down today, it's actually not that bad. But unfortunately for Tesla, it is going down. I can throw out this wedge. I know I shouldn't. What am I doing? No, I'm not going to throw out the wedge because since it broke out, sometimes that trend line that was resistance can turn into support. So maybe that happens literally now as it's trying to hold a 200 period.
One
Tesla
chocolate left.
Cannot get out of its own way. Rejection, and potential flat bottom if we lose 332. When this went crazy last Friday, 332 was support. Like this losing 332 is actually a pretty solid deal here for Tesla. Unfortunately. So this is a level to watch right here at 332. I'm not saying it fills in this gap on a Friday, but maybe a date with 330 could make some sense. I actually liked Rivian again because they had a positive story yesterday, just a little bit better. And the moment I got out under VWAP, it's actually back to breaking out. So I might try to get back into the long here on this EV name that is not dumping all over itself. It's only down 1% today, which is a minor victory for anybody that's not doing as poorly as the NASDAQ.
There's some comments in the chat that our position board keeps on going back and forth. I don't know what they're doing, but they'll get it up in a couple minutes here. Yeah, now I've got everyone all high on some caffeine and some chocolate over here. So we're gonna have a great midday after. We got to name, because I keep saying the midday show. This is like the afternoon show. Is that right? I don't know. We have the recap show. Closing show. Yeah, the close. Yeah, good one, Sharif. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know. I think more of the same. I mean, kind of like everything that everyone's been echoing here again. It's like when you're looking for breakout levels in stocks, you need to actually break out. And if you don't, then I feel like these turnaround plays are kind of the story that Tesla's been doing now. Basically, like you can almost go all the way back to February of this year, of 2025. So where you made that top right there, I mean, this is cherry picking because no one knew that this was about to happen. If anything, maybe you thought it was going to go the other way. But then if you come over here to May, we touch out that 365 area again, and then we make the move back in, and then we come up to 360 again, and we stop at the same spot again, and then we kept on making these high wicks. And these wicks are actually trades that have happened. It's not like these are dark pools, like this one didn't happen, but these ones did. So there is some huge supply area here around 360. And like it reminds me of like that Bezos wall that was like at 200 for a minute there on Amazon. Like I don't know if this guy's selling or what? I mean, obviously, if Elon was selling, we would hear about it, but that 365 seems to be something. And then obviously to the bottom as well, a little bit less clear, I guess, more murky down here, but this 300 area seems to be fine. I mean, you get some dip downs as well, but I think you're range bound in Tesla, and I've already heard my piece on this yesterday. We had a huge winner yesterday on Tesla. And again, the reason why I put it on the sticky note, we had this short the whole way down, man, yesterday. So the reason why it was on the sticky note there is the position board's up. Okay, good. Is that it was negative EU sales yesterday. So that kind of started that. And then it's right here. That was that big move yesterday. We did finish pretty strong, and then we faded out the rest of today on NASDAQ worries, I guess. So, yeah, I don't think the story's over for Tesla. I just think it's getting started. The EV names, it's just getting started as a play other than EV. So we got to sort of rewire ourselves to think that maybe Tesla is this autonomous, is this robot Optimus. Yep. There's the robo-taxi angle right now. The cars are just being sold. Their margin keeps going down every single time. We talked about the Chinese strength. We saw NIO going up. We saw BYD as well with an aggressive play today. So they're down 7% as well, BYD. So there's issues in the EV space. So Tesla, until we get it figured out, to me, is stay away. And if you're long, stay in them. And if you don't believe in the story, then just get out. And there's other plays that you can make. There's always there's always other plays. There's Uber. You can take a shot. Uber's been doing well recently.
I got bad news.
Micah Parsons' trade was reversed?
No. On Wednesday, a company called Sharps Technology, which I'm sure no one had heard of, decided that they were going to do Solana Treasury play. And it ran
on Wednesday?
And it ran yesterday, going from $15 to $19. It just halted down for reasons unknown.
Reasons unknown? I know some reasons.
So there's no story. This was at $14.50. It's halted down at $11.73, and the tap is $9.62. So it's indicating an open, like where it's not even on the screen, like another $2 down. It just dropped 20-something%. I haven't seen the story here, but not good. So Solana Treasury, I don't know if we have the story, but if there's no story there, then sometimes that's even worse that you can do this without anything. These treasury plays are so dangerous. Like Solana's not going to drop 27% in 1 minute or 5 minutes here. Probably not. I mean, it could. It's not like it never happens, but not good. Another one of these treasury plays, and if there's no news, we'll keep hunting for it if we find anything, but it is halted down.
Looking.
And let's look at IPDN. I didn't expect to see that on the list.
I mean, in the Treasury, there doesn't have to be any news, really. I don't feel like. And there could be an offering. That's the other thing.
Oh, so you better believe it.
We've seen those before.
We'll do the first.
All right, Sharif, what's up?
RPDN, guys, the only stock I traded on the midday today, still holding up quite nicely here, 368%. I want to give you some data points on it. The float, 1.81 million. The short float, that could be the wrong data point. It says 10.2, but as you can see, we're a big on the day. Likely a lot of people have already been squeezed out of their short positions, so that 10.2% short float may be incorrect. They're moving up on this news. Professional Diversity Network, the name of the company, announced a compliance-driven Web 3.0 investment and launches revamped websites for job seekers and employers. And according to the market, that headline is worth 362%.
So headline,
at least.
Headline schmedline. You know what's happening here?
I would have thought maybe 450% probably.
They reverse split in March and fell right back down to $1. They reverse split in June and fell back to $1.70.
You don't
so
say.
Each time putting in a little bit of it's not really a lower high, let's be real, that's actually just going lower. But this time it broke out the reverse split top, which for any of the hedgies that short these types of moves, if you're a firm that shorts anytime there's a reverse split on these penny stocks, this is good. This is multiple blowouts here. It was probably a blowout around $4. It's certainly a blowout around 6 to 6.5, and the volume's huge. The only thing you got to keep in mind is it's done 280 million shares. So at this point, you got to feel like anybody that needed to unwind has done so, and you're just looking for maybe new shorts to trap. But yeah, see, that's the good thing that could happen. I mean, it doesn't happen to most. It doesn't happen to most of the stocks that do reverse split. So don't just assume or hope that Lucid will do a similar pattern. Like Lucid's going to reverse split as of Monday. It'll be a $20 stock or $19.99, whatever it works out to be at this point, because it's at $1.99. And maybe it goes down for a bit. And if it breaks out that high, I think that's an opportunity for it to go. But the key point would be you want it to look like normal. And that's where the firms and the funds that do their thing and ride these things to the downside, where it looks like it's working again, and then it just blows up. And then you look for that continuation. In this case, it was probably through 4. Yeah, it looked like it was right around 4. It halted up, and once it held above, forget about it, because that's all those levels that they were probably heavily shorting underneath. It would be great if Lucid did something like this from a trading perspective, but that takes a while to develop. So yeah, probably some hedgies getting blown out, but there's so much volume in it that you have to imagine anybody that need to get out of this thing has gotten out, and you have to ask, like, did new people get in? That's what you'll need to see. And you get such late delays on short float and all that you'll probably just have to make a guesstimate based on price action. And if it starts on Monday, like if it starts like testing and resisting this $10 area again, maybe you can speculate that people are getting in heavy at the 10, which it looks like they might have been. And so if that blows out,
say hi to Drake for us.
Have a good one there, Sharif. He's gonna go hang out.
He's gonna go hang. He's gonna go swim in Drake's pool.
I thought they were gonna work out together.
Maybe.
You should train Drake.
Yeah, well, obvious.
Train Drake.
Obvious. He's a busy guy.
Do you swim?
There he is.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, he swims, man. He does everything,
Yeah.
Only real athletes swim, of course. Okay, so I have no idea. I'm just saying that because everyone knows I do, but shout out to Sharif. Yeah, great job there, Sharif. Keep killing it for us and for himself. I mean, great piece of Trader TV Live. Welcome to the closing show. Now we decided, hey, Adair, don't fall. Okay, good. Ooh. Every time we step up on these, like the stairs are over there, but I like get nervous because it's probably 3 feet and maybe 2.5. Oh yeah, no. I Adair confirming that she's not falling.
I was gonna say there was a trip.
There was one trip. Yeah, I think we've all tripped.
I've tripped on that.
I've tripped up as well. Okay, I just want to say that quickly here. Puke City. Let's just slap a little siren on this one and then slap a fail. Because IBIT, I mean, this is what crypto's looking like right now, like throwing up all over itself. Not good, under the 50-period moving average looking. So this is a name like not good. I bought Marvell, also not good. But right into here, not great. We touched the all-time high there. We broke through $70, which was about 124,000, 125 on crypto. And since then, we double touched it and straight back in. So whenever this happens, I don't think it's a bad sign. You need the market to sort of give up a little bit before it can continue. It needs to get a little bit of the weak hands out. The only problem, again, with Bitcoin is I believe it's pretty strongly tied to the NASDAQ, but not recently. So it's kind of decoupled from that because the NASDAQ, although down today and down a little bit yesterday, we're not down that much. Crypto from the top right here is down. That's $70 down to 61. So you're down about 13% or so from the top. And I just worry that we need some headlines to help stocks out. What's the headline for crypto? I mean, I know that there's going to be, we talk about the Fed and we talk about money supply. Interest rates getting lower is probably a good thing for the equity markets. Yep. I don't know if that means that people will be buying Bitcoin if that's the case. You're never going to get earnings. You're never going to get anything out of Bitcoin that should help rally it other than the fact that you have to believe in it. And that's why we get, cases from like a Tom Lee and like a Michael Saylor. You can just look it up and figure out why they believe these coins will continue to work out. But there's nothing to say that these are great investments other than belief right now from what I can sense. And it's like that whole tulip thing. I'm into crypto. I mean, I was looking at it. I think I have about 3% or so of my portfolio is in various crypto names, and it's kind of spread out. Bitcoin is the highest, but we have Solana, and we have Ripple, and we have some Ethereum, but not much Ethereum. Ethereum is my lowest one. Solana, Cardano is the other one. Boy, I can't forget about that one. But Sharif asked me, what was the average prices of Solana and everything that we hold it at, and it's very, very low. We were buying a lot of crypto a long time ago. I actually had rigs set up in my basement and was mining Bitcoin and mining various other coins as well. So yeah, it's been a decent run for that. And I remember Baxter was in high school. The guy's 23 years old now, so that was at least 6 or 7 years ago, where we were setting these things up in our garage. And I remember, if Randy was here, he'd tell you a true story. He and I had devised a plan that we would steal power from this office and start running some rigs in the back. Obviously, we actually never did that. And if I did, I don't think I'd be publicly talking about it.
Probably not.
Yeah, no. At the end of the day, you know, some of these coins, the way they've moved has minted many millionaires, many, not me, but many. I just wonder about the levels right now. People hear stories about all these, and they say, like, you know, we're going to try to get rich on crypto, and I think that might be the wrong attitude for now. I think you want to look at them like stock. Like Ripple at 280 is a great little level there for that. We've talked about that over and over again. Solana's at a key level of 200, and then Bitcoin hanging out north of 100 is still good, but I think that's the next buy zone. Like if we were looking at NVIDIA or something, we'd look at some key levels to buy them at, and I think crypto, just like, especially Bitcoin, just like gold, is going to have big runs, and it's going to have, you know, moves down. And I think maybe right now we're just experiencing some downturn, and they've chosen to, you know, mint coins like Solana has gone up. Yep. We just showed you 15% in the week. So there are different names that will get going at different times. And right now I think it's crypto, Bitcoin's time just to chill out a little bit. Ethereum's going up, Solana's going up, and I think the good times will roll once again on IBIT and on BTC.
It'll happen. It'll happen. I just, at this point, you know, we actually think it was yesterday. If not yesterday, it was Wednesday, when it looked like Bitcoin was going to hold this prior high support.
Right.
It obviously has not. So you're going to end the week closing under this like prior high breakout, like this high, going back to like the January high, and we had a breakout off that level, and then it just had dipped off it a few days ago. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm a buyer for sure in the low 90s, because I've been observing this. When it does the next step up, then I'm buying this level. Not the first one, I'm buying the second level down. For sure there. But as you said, the 100 level held like 3 times in this move. So like,
I think it's worth putting some in there.
So like, yeah, here, that's the thing. If you're gonna put like, I'll tell you this way. Like my gut is telling me that if I was gonna buy like say 10, people always say 10,000 because it's like this investing term. It's like if you were to invest $10,000, it's always the sum. It just makes things easier. I wouldn't go quarter. I'd actually just probably buy 5,000 in front of 100, and I'd buy 5,000 in front of 91. Like that's I think my plan of action until proven otherwise. And maybe we end up next week holding this same level, and I like adding there. Who knows? But for now, we're breaking down, and that means I want to buy the dip and be patient with it. Before, we have MF Dangerous, so thank you for the super chat. You finished your August journal. Sticky states 300 that I would have lost this much, but I dare not go against the Sticky. Thanks, Sean. But you didn't go against it, you said. I'm confused.
Says he dares people to go against it.
No, Sticky saving 300 that you would have lost that month.
Right. So it's like I saved him some money.
So you were going to take the others. That's okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Just before we go back to Adair, that STSS halted to the. Did that hold up? It did. It halted up. So it opened back and it halted to the upside. So that's that Solana treasury play. So opened, pretty much instantly halted to the upside. Let's go to Adair.
Yeah, still some range-bound action here for the NASDAQ. Be aware, I'm seeing this news headline. Not really sure what stocks this is going to impact, but be aware, I guess, for any energy-related plays. The U.S. Department of Energy has declared over $35 million to support new energy technologies. We know that they have been announcing similar grants. Keep an eye on energy, potentially keep an eye on nuclear here. If I get any more details with regards to where this money is going to go or what sectors might be impacted, of course, I will let you guys know right away. Back to you.
Oh, that's cool.
We have the ability to trade all these on our platform.
I keep forgetting we can literally just quote this because we get so used to looking at the ETFs that we can look at Solana right here. So it's entirely possible that treasury play it could have just been technical. Like it blew up to the downside because of the trend, a slight trend down. So 201 kind of holding here. I know how it works. Like you have to do, if you're at real trading, you have to do some stuff in the morning to fund the wallet and blah, 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 to be able to trade these. That's why people just look at the ETFs ultimately. But what I want everybody to do, if we can, I'm just going to pull up Tesla because I want to see Tesla's still kind of hanging at the bottom and not doing much of anything. So here's what we're going to do. We're gonna refresh this. We have Marvell at the top of the list this morning, and Open, and Baba, and Tesla, and IPDN. But how about we give it a fresh start? And then for Power Hour in here, we'll get an idea of what you guys want to look at. So make sure you type in $. So right now, and it's not to call anybody out, Kuzi not, but just
sounds like you just called somebody out.
No, but it's more just put $UNH. You're asking about UNH, put $, right? And then it's a little bit more interest there. And we'll get to UNH at some point. I actually think it's what's interesting, something interesting happening there, because you want a cup and handle. So yeah, so some names getting thrown in there. I'll actually type UNH just as a little bit of a support for that symbol, because I'm not sure it's going to make it on the list. Tesla up there. Of course, Tesla remains near the top. Marvell remains near the top. The SPY, NVIDIA, all names you'd expect. So thank you, everybody, and make sure anytime, I'm not just when we ask you to do it. It's every time that you type in the chat a symbol. If you're just like, what do you think about this, or what's going on with this, just put the $ in front, and that way it populates, and we have an idea of what the biggest symbols are, at least for our viewers. So thank you guys so much for that, and we'll make sure we keep an eye on it. It's still Tesla #1.
Scan that QR code, because this is exciting news for Canadian traders. Beta Pro by Global X Canada has just launched 6 new triple levered 3X levered ETFs, bulls, bears, exposure to the S&P TSX 60, semiconductors, and U.S. Treasuries. Even better, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points, which is pretty good, until December 31st of this year. These ETFs also employ currency hedging to seek and neutralize U.S. dollar exposure, providing performance that may more accurately, and this is what we've been talking about with against the U.S. dollar, reflect the underlying U.S. indices. If you are a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3x daily to learn more. And we want to thank Beta Pro for highlighting the different opportunities in the market and for sponsoring this segment of Z Show. Just looking over here at this, actually, you know what? I was going to do this little hot list thing here. I can't really zoom into this, Andre, or whoever's over there right now. But this is just a trade rate. So any stocks that are sort of popping off right now, I have no idea what OZK, whatever that was. But if you look on here, we've got Tesla. That's down 4% today. NVIDIA's down 3%, 3.5%. Affirm was up much more. They made a brand new 52-week high. All these green labels here will be 52-week highs. We've got IREN 52-week high. We've got Google breaking through 212.90. Oh. That's a new 52-week high. Damn you, Google. Affirm 8250, that's a brand new 52-week high.
It hit $100.
Some stock named Marvell, never heard of it before. They're down 18% as well. Maybe worth investing or not. There's Alibaba today, 134, up 12%. This is just the sort of the list that's curated from eSignal. So just giving us all the names that are sort of moving around right now. There's your triple or double levered TSLA there. What else is here today? Palantir. We haven't done much talk there, but that's it right here, down 0.78. Intel
actually,
down 2.
Palantir's strong.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. We'll have to look at Palantir then, because I was looking for something else to trade. And then what else is green today? So Open Door, IREN, SMCI for some reason green, which maybe feeling some love from Dell, but not. Dell is down.
SMCI is down.
It was? I just saw green. Oh, yeah, down 4%. My bad. Sorry, I must have mixed those two up. Yeah, SMCI. I was like, that's what I was thinking. Dell was down. How could SMCI, unless they're stealing customers? And then you have Walmart up 0.7, which is nice. There's the gold, GDX gold miners. So they're up a little bit today as well. Breaking, wow. Gold miners, 50. We had a gold miner on last night on the show, so go find out about that. Oh shoot, I forget the name again. I'll figure it out for you. VEIN is the symbol in TSX Venture. Okay.
Pasifino.
Oh, Pasifino. I was going to say Pasa something, and I was Fino. Okay, Pasifino Gold. Thank you, Adara. They were on last night. Make sure you go check them out. VEIN over there on Liberia. The guy had at the camp in the background. That was pretty fun seeing that there. But yeah, other than that, man, not much else going green here today at all. There's irony and JD. Some of the Chinese names are obviously hitting Greensville as well. So thanks, Andre, for zooming in there. But I just wanted to give a quick little rundown of some of the names that may be on your watch list as well as ours that are now printing not positively today, to say the least. And we didn't get, so you have Palantir up.
Palantir crossed VWAP.
Let's go look at it, yeah.
It's not that, look, Palantir is going to be down on the day, but when the market's down 1.4, the NASDAQ's down almost 1.4%. Palantir, which has been having a bit of a rough time of it, but look what's going on here on Palantir. You see the 50-period moving average? I have this trend line drawn, but like if you just zoom in and see the 50-period moving average, that little teal line in here, every single day since the 22nd, and well, there's only one day it didn't touch the 50-period. It's even broken the 50-period, but every single day it's closed above the 50-period moving average. So essentially, you've been able to buy whatever the dip is on Palantir. At some point, it gets back to the 50-period moving average, which, whoops, I should have finished the thought. Let me finish the thought here. So that's 150, today it's 155.60. So essentially, all that happened was, I was right before I went on a walk, it was like noon or something. It was holding 155.60, like right in here. I'm like, wow, holding 155.60. You just take the VWAP trade here if it follows through. But that stopped working, and then look what happened when it tried to break 155.60. I wasn't at the desk when this happened. I was taking a walk, as I said. But it's somebody is buying this thing up to close above the 50-period, or just buying the 50-period moving average. Look at the same support in the afternoon yesterday, and you saw the way that this followed through. So I think this is a buy the dips situation in Palantir until the day that it closes under the 50-period moving average. You find a long to the 50-period on the daily, or you find a long after it starts holding the 50 at some point during the day. You just start going long the stock. And that it looks like that's been working. And as long as, and I don't know, like that could be anything. Maybe there's a fund that's buying the dip on it. I don't know. Maybe Kathy Wood's buying it. I have no idea. It's just happening. So as long as it's happening, you want to take a shot. So the next available dip, we'll see where it might be. I mean, VWAP would be great. That's exactly where it was perfect before. So barring something else setting up, dip into VWAP on Palantir. I want to look long for Power Hour.
So this is Marvell, down 18%, still going lower, still getting crushed, getting hit, right? So then I was like, okay, let me just read the Benzinga, just going to see if there's any stories in general. And a story that just came up right here, Marvell, right? And so I was like, okay, so I typed in Marvell. All right, here it is, man, 254. JP Morgan maintains overweight on Marvell, price target 120. Oh, that's nice. Right down here, Cantor Fitzgerald. We did this on the open as well when we went. This is as of 124. Cantor Fitzgerald reiterates neutral, boo. Price target 75. We don't necessarily like that one. And then that's it. Oppenheimer at 12 o'clock maintains outperform, price target 95. 11:30 UBI, and I did all these this morning. Marvell maintains buy on Marvell, but lowers the price target to just $95. So I don't see any targets here that are anywhere near any of these prices, and it doesn't matter. I mean, these are just analysts, and they have a job to do and all that kind of stuff. But you would think with a quarter like that, normally you come in and you get littered with downgrades. But these are just confirmations of maintaining. They're not necessarily upgrades. I mean, they're just maintaining the price. So I think Marvell, give it a couple days. We'll see if it can bounce back. I think with the market, it probably will give back a couple points here. And then maybe get into 70s. In like maybe 70 might be the top for the next month or two, as it needs to work out this 18%. I mean, it's a nasty move.
It's hard for you. It's hard for it to bounce today when everything. I put my sweater away, and now it's getting cold again. When everything goes down, like sometimes on a stock like Marvell, you'll get like a bounce, and we've been seeing a lot in earnings season, but not on a day like today. Like today's the kind of day there. This morning there was one chip stock that was strong, one, and it was Micron. There was an SK Hynix story, and well, it's at the end of the day, let's just say it benefited specifically Micron relative to all of the other chip makers. And even this could not hold. It was just sell, 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 sell. This was this Friday, and the good thing about this type of sell almost everything type of move is oftentimes it can lead to some good Mondays. Well, okay, sorry. Tuesday, because Monday's a holiday. It can lead to a good start to the next week because everything got dragged down. And you want to try to remember the things that held on to the bid or maybe had a positive note to it and not just all the dead cat bounces. That's why I want to remember, hey, Palantir's holding that 50 period on the daily. If everything's falling today, like what's going to be strong? Oh, Alphabet, regardless of what happens here, that had a good story. Micron had a good story. And I know it reversed some in here, but I was just talking about the 50 period. Look where it bounced. Exactly at the 50 period on the daily, $118. Almost to the penny. it holds on to the 50 period on the daily. So that's just like this little kernel of, well, when Tuesday rolls around, try to remember where the buyers came in on something that had a positive catalyst and see if you can't find the strength in that kind of a name. And it looks like UNH is breaking out that cup and handle. Maybe Uncle Warren, God, I did it again. Maybe Berkshire is buying some more shares. I'm not going to stop saying Warren Buffett. This is a thing. For 20 years, you're used to it being Warren Buffett. I don't say Berkshire Hathaway, I just say Warren Buffett because that's what it meant. And
maybe Derek can find out. I think he might be still doing.
Oh, no,
I'm not sure exactly.
He's still advising.
So yeah, I believe at the end of the year, that's when he switches to the advisory position. I think he is still to some extent at the helm until January 1st, 2026, which also would be Charlie Munger's birthday, RIP.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fitting.
Okay.
So what?
So Charlie Munger and I actually share a birthday. Not the same year, obviously, but same date.
Really, not the same year. Okay. Yeah.
Do you share a celebrity birthday? Well, I mean, everyone obviously does.
I have no idea.
Well, everybody shares a celebrity birthday because there's a lot of celebrities out there.
Gemini.
Mine's Ozzie Smith, the wizard.
So not a celebrity. Okay, hold on a second.
Ozzie Smith, the wizard?
I know who he is, but me and you are the only two that.
I'm sure there's somebody more.
He's not a celebrity.
No, there's more people
Not
more
a celebrity.
famous, but to me, as a baseball fan,
He's a famous baseball player, but not
Ozzie
not a
Smith
celebrity.
was the guy. He did. So what's cool about him? He'd have been so much bigger in this age of social media. He used to come out on the field and he would do backflips and front flips and cartwheels as he was running onto the field. Like, that's the kind of joy that you should have for playing a kid's game for a living.
Patrick Mahomes.
See, there you go.
In your face.
There you go. Did you ask that
and the biggest of
guess
celebrities.
Gemini? Gemini? Oh,
Yeah, man.
Okay. I was gonna ask ChatGPT.
Prince Harry is up in here as well. So we got a little bit of good stuff happening here. Other than that, John Ritter. I mean, it gets weak after this. Jason Sudeikis. I'll take Patrick Mahomes and Prince Harry. I'll take both those guys right there. And then Kyle Chandler, apparently, Friday Night Lights.
Kyle Chandler, who's that?
I don't know. It says Emmy award-winning actor known for his roles on Friday Night Lights. Me and my brother also share a birthday there. And that's
I know that guy. I didn't know what. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea who it is either. So after that, that's about it. Trisha Yearwood, country music singer.
Oh, no way.
John Ritter. I like John Ritter.
Jon Snow.
Three's Company. Oh, that's what yours is, Jon Snow?
Kit Harington. Yeah, who knew? Who knew?
Okay.
Jon Snow. Who invented the what? Who's in great-grandfather invented the toilet? Kit Harington, who played Jon Snow, his great-grandfather invented the toilet? Okay.
Really?
That's the more you know, everybody.
The more you know about toilet.
Fabian just walked past and just dropped that tidbit.
Yeah, Fabian is hot fire.
How did you know that, Fabian? Just out of...
He's a big toilet connoisseur, this guy.
What? You talked about it in an interview. Okay.
Okay. I thought it was for your love of toilets, but I guess not. Silicone one. We have some friend of ours has those, the Japanese bidets.
It's not so much that he has it.
What,
it's just that
he uses it for fun?
No. It's just that I don't think we had ever seen somebody so incredibly, because he hosted the draft last year and he's got a new house. He was whatever, and he was so incredibly proud specifically of the toilet. Like the house is freaking gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
But he was so specifically proud.
A $4 or $5 million house, but
the toilet's the only thing he wanted to talk about.
The toilet is.
He's like, guys, you gotta come up and see my toilet. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The gym's pretty pimp.
Yeah, he has his own cold plunge.
The cold plunge is pretty pimp too, but let's.
Let us know if you guys in the chat have tried out these toilets with the bidets and they're heated and you can play like music and it's like what was that? Like Neptune's Kiss. Yeah, like Neptune's Kiss. I'm lost.
Gotcha.
Okay, was that a call for Adara or?
Probably.
Yes. Well then, let's go.
Here is our earnings and events calendar for September 2nd to 5th. We're wishing everybody a happy Labor Day, but hopefully you rest up because next week is going to be another wild one. Tons of earnings, even late in the season, as you can see. Lululemon, Broadcom, UiPath, CRM, Dollar Tree, Macy's, Neo, Zscaler, and Signet, which recently popped after Taylor Swift announced her engagement to Travis Kelce. So lots of tickers on watch here. Then in terms of economic data, we do have JOLTS job openings and non-farm payrolls. You are not going to want to miss this week. So join us here at Trader TV Live. And also make sure to check out this infographic on X at TTV Research. The Monday earnings and events update will be, the Tuesday earnings and events update will be posted very shortly. And also we're now posting during the weekend as well. So keep an eye on this throughout the week and the weekend now too. Back to you.
Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday I saw Broadcom on there. We've got Asana was on there. Salesforce was Wednesday is going to be a good one. Lululemon. Wow. So we are. I felt like we were through it all, and
well, because it's NVIDIA, right? Like effectively.
No, but even then, I thought
effectively we kind of are. But you're right. Like Broadcom is still almost high single digits in a lot of ETFs. Why did this not auto-fill my... There you go.
What are you trying to do? Oh,
no, like
Salesforce.
when I type in the symbol, usually it has the auto... Salesforce is still bouncing. Okay, there's a big report, Salesforce. It's held a double bottom.
Come on, Salesforce.
At 230 is good. It's gone to the 50 period. The real question is, do you take 10% or do you hold it through earnings? That's the real question.
Or do you buy more before earnings?
No.
Oh, don't.
I never do. I never do.
Yeah, I did.
If
Not good.
To me, the swing on Salesforce was that it was holding. It wasn't even a. Here, let's go to a weekly chart. CRM. You said it was Wednesday, right? It was this on Salesforce. So remember, Salesforce on a weekly. This is $230. The 200 period on the weekly just keeps holding. It did the wick and then held. And I was like, oh, do I wait or just buy it? I'm like, yeah. And I said, I'm not going to wait. Ended up buying it at 231. And ultimately, the funny thing about Salesforce is I've actually owned the stock for a really long time and just not done anything with it, buy or sell, for years. I would literally have to check. I can't even remember the last time. But when it was down this far, I figured, hey, let's take a shot at it. And the first leg is here to the 50. If it so much as breathes on 270 before earnings, that's you for sure got to take some out, because that's the next resistance spot. And I don't think I'd want to not put a trailing stop at the 50 period going into those earnings. It's probably a name that's doing worse than you think. I think for most people, like if you haven't looked at it and you looked at what the NASDAQ has done and with the AI craze and all that, you'd probably say, well, really? Salesforce is having that terrible of a year? And they are. It hasn't really been that good for them. But the 50 period's finally there. Right now, Bitcoin's actually trying to...
tank. No, it's at 108. I didn't even
trying desperately to hold the low.
Oh.
No, because it just, I forget. I just jinxed it. Never mind. There was a bottoming tail candle on volume on IBIT here. And yeah, I'm such a jinx. There's a bottoming tail candle, broke the low and then came right back. And now it's right back underneath. What's the point? It's just going lower. Even when it does like a bottom wick, it still just retraces back to the low. There's just nothing standing in the way of crypto. To the downside here, unfortunately. Palantir is looking good still. I don't think it's going to get to VWAP, unfortunately.
Brown Lightning wanted to know if bidets were popular here in Canada. No, they're not. Not even close.
No, I don't think it's
not the way Europe or anything. No. Every time I've traveled to Europe or anywhere, Asia,
I know 2 people that have them.
Yeah, it's always much more.
Obviously, the one guy we talked about.
Yeah, exactly. The guy that we talked about. Yeah. Okay. So thanks for those questions. Good question there. What's up to Parth in the chat? He keeps on tagging you incorrectly, of course, but you got to use the full. Just type @Sean and then you'll see it populate, and we'll be able to get tagged into there. So, all right. Just quickly here. Yeah. If I read these numbers to myself in a former life, Webull delivered strong Q2 growth with revenue up 46%. Revenue up 46% year over year. Profit finally turned one. EPS of 5 cents. So I'd be like, that's great. Trading related revenue surged 63%. So I mean, they're a trading app, right? So that's good. Customer assets hit an all-time high. It's all good. Of 15.9 billion. The company also launched crypto trading in Brazil and in the US. Okay, US crypto trading. Sense. Driving global expansion and diversification to their portfolio. Down 6.5%.
After being up, you're not even showing the aftermarket.
Yeah, here it is right here. I mean, whatever. This is what I'm saying. I mean, Adair and I were sitting here, we were pretty happy, and I was like, yes, we got, we lost on Marvell, but we won on Webull, and then it turned out to be double brown pants. As you're flushing down and hitting the lows of the day right now in Webull. So thankfully, this is not a name that I was making any, unpopular decisions on heading into the print. So we're fine with it. But we're still long near the bottom, and I still think that Webull has an area of support, although taking out the 50 period today is not nice. That's not bad either. It's just it's on earnings day 1. So you'd like to see it. I don't want to see this thing to $12, that's for sure, but at least it's down here, it's at a buy zone for sure. If you want to nibble into some right today, I can't blame you. I see the way Robinhood, I mean, if we're going to call a spade, you can look at SoFi. Let's look at, Robinhood is more like Webull. SoFi, like I said, has their charter. They're a little bit of a different beast there. So, much different investments SoFi is than Robinhood. But if you're going to look at Robinhood, even when it's IPO'd or some of the tailwinds and headwinds that faced Robinhood. And we know they came to market obviously back when we had GME and Roaring Kitty and all of that. And it wasn't super loved back in the day. And I actually thought when it IPO'd that it could have possibly gotten killed. But all right, this is going back way more than okay. This is going to take a minute to load up. This is the data from, there it is right there. But okay, so here's the IPO for Robinhood, right? It comes out in July of 21, and it comes out at $35. It rips like most IPOs do to high heavens, okay? And then it comes right back in and doesn't even really think about holding its IPO price and goes right from $35 down, everybody, $7. So you went from an IPO of $35, and now everybody wishes they had Robinhood in their account right now, right? From $35 all the way down to $6. I could try to cherry pick what exactly the bottom was, but it looks like right here in July or June of 22, Robinhood $6 or $7, right? Retest it, and then has a move up, right? It goes up to 12, goes up there to 12, 13, 14 again, then comes all the way back down, and you're like, what have I done? But then all of a sudden, man, just kept going, and then this happened, where now you're at 103. So that was $6 in June of 22. So you had to wait 3 years to make 10, 20 bagger on it, 20 times your money from 6 to 120. That's top to bottom, and no one's going to hold it all the way there. And if you did, congratulations, and hopefully you're able to get something out now. I would. But yeah, that's the kind of movement there. So to sit in here and not to, and to look back and say Webull is not Robinhood and all that, I understand not every company is built the same, but you're going to have to give some of these opportunities some time to build. And I still like Webull, and I would say this is just a bull trap, maybe, as you get stuck down to the downside. What's up, Adara?
This part of the show is brought to you by our friends at Women Boss. Empowered women change the world, and you can help make it happen. The Women Boss trains and mentors women and girls across Africa to lead, innovate, and thrive. And since 2018, they've reached over 10,000 women and girls, and your donation today can launch the next great entrepreneur. So scan the QR code on your screen now and join us in building a brighter future. Back to you.
Thing back on there. Thanks, Adara, for that note there. I was debating going to go get a tea or something myself here, as I can literally, my hands are frozen. And it's not even that cold.
Just to get a warm drink.
I feel like it's, just to hold on to something, right, I think is important there. But that's kind of the case there for Webull. I don't, it's just looking at past results. I mean, Roblox had the similar thing where it tanked and then ripped eventually. And just stocks take a minute to breathe. And I just think that was a decent report. Maybe it's not what everybody wanted, and it's getting sold off today. So, you take some profits if you're long, but I would wait and see if that can get going again. PayPal, and there's a whole bunch of different fintech plays out there that have been getting beat up recently. And PayPal, Upstart. We actually saw a firm come out with their report earlier today as well, which was a pretty good report overall.
Look at the rug.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, and they got pulled down as well. So when you're getting a report like a firm, and I was just trying to actually look for those numbers there. I know Celsius had a good day today for sure, but a firm, again, reporting a profit of $69 million compared to a loss last year. So a firm showing up, but at least a firm today makes not all-time highs, 52-week highs today on this report. So they lost money last quarter, a year ago, same quarter, revenue increasing 33%. Everything looks pretty good over there. Operating income and profitability provided upbeat Q1 guidance. And then partnerships, they also mentioned their partnerships with Amazon and Shopify continue to be pretty strong. But again, this is what I mean. This was also one of those newer plays that came out super hot fire. It got up to 175. Imagine holding the bag here, a firm, 175. Not even 175. Imagine holding the bag anywhere up here, anywhere down here. A firm gets to, ladies and gentlemen, $8 back down here in April of 2023. It's now April of 2025. It's obviously August, but if you just fast forward into what we're talking about right here, it's, you know, sometimes good things happen when you can wait around and you've got some decent stock. So we'll see if Klarna can come. They shelved their IPO, but maybe with this good Affirm note here, I would think this is time for Klarna to come.
Klarna should have.
It should come now.
I think you should have come to the market, I don't know, like a couple months ago.
No, they were supposed to, but the market wasn't.
Keep pushing it back. Yeah, they should try to before the market does some kind of a real.
I was seeing a report earlier this week, and I mentioned it at the time, but I think it was during the midday. They've filed for, they reportedly filed for something, and I think they're trying to do it this or next month. I guess September is what I was seeing, but I don't have any confirmation on that.
Well, if they filed, it's happening. I mean, that's what happens.
Needs to be happening.
And then they got to go for a roadshow and everything, and then they'll roadshow that thing. And I will not. Well, you know what? I saw the way Affirm moved. We saw a lot of these IPOs trade well off the open.
The open is different from actually holding the stock. I'm not trying to hold. Anyway, that's Affirm. What's the best? Bullish. There we go. Let's just let's talk some shop here. No, there's a very big difference between buying Klarna for 5 minutes or buying bullish for 30 seconds and buying it to hold it. Like, there's nothing bullish about this IPO. And the reason I was sort of saying they should have done it already is just the reaction that we're getting. Like, remember what was happening for CoreWeave and for Circle. It was just a very different environment where it was like no holds barred, everything is just gonna go up. Right? And then when this kind of caught the top and CoreWeave kind of caught the top and all of a sudden Figma comes out and that doesn't really hold on very well. Like, you know what the IPO that literally nobody talks about that actually holds on was that the Miami exchange. MIAX. Boring. We trade on that gateway all the time. Like, it's you'll see it on your level too. But that's one of the best, most boring IPOs out there. You know, they're going to print money every time someone uses that gateway on the spread, and it wasn't even any good right away. But all of these other names, I don't know about Klarna. We'll take the opening print almost certainly whenever it happens. If it happens September, great, because every single month we've had a good IPO that's able to carry things. But yeah, I feel like they should have just done this a little bit earlier. I can't believe UNH is still going. There's the other part to this UNH rally that I think all we said was, you know, I mentioned Buffett and Berkshire, and then we talked Michael Burry's buying. But there's another aspect to this, right? Tech Week, you have to also try to remember where you're going to find some strength on a day like today. And sometimes you'll find a little strength in healthcare. You'll find a little strength. And this morning we were looking at even say like a Walmart program buy on Walmart. This is kind of what this stock does, where it looks straight to the upside when the market can't catch a bid. And, you know, Costco is a good example. Probably Coke, I'm sure, is doing well. We've already mentioned gold and silver, to a lesser extent silver. But, you know, look at KO. Straight to the upside. So there's another aspect of that UNH move that could give it some strength here. But remember, that plays both ways. If this was to sell everything in tech, and then on Tuesday, almost said Monday again, on Tuesday, it's like just this buying opportunity. Remember what UNH was doing, counter trend. And that could also reverse itself. But yeah, this looks like a good one if you have it to the long side. Sometimes it's small cappers, other times it's that sector rotation that we're always talking about. So healthcare looking strong. I haven't really checked out the banks too much here today, but you know, some of those staples doing very, very well. And some energy was doing well. As well. But Baggy Capital just said Broadcom's going to rescue the chips. I hope so. I don't know if that's...
I mean, they're not even... I mean, they're beat up, but they're not that bad.
Well, you just don't want Broadcom to...
What is Broadcom up?
No.
I know they're not up, but what does that daily look like?
The daily looks fine. Yeah. A little double top action on the daily for Broadcom. But like you don't want Broadcom to disappoint, right? You don't want Broadcom to give us some signs of stress. Like if Broadcom loses the 50-period moving average, they're too big in the index for this not to hurt. That's just how it is. And that'll be the big one next week. I'm pretty sure it's easily the biggest name reporting next week, whether or not it's the thing that people care about the most. I tend to think it's the thing people should care about the most. If you own other stuff, maybe you care more about that. Like I'll care about CRM because I have it, but everyone owns Broadcom if you own the index, and you own a lot of it if you own the index. So you should care. how these guys do.
We were just looking at IBIT, and you were mentioning it holding the bottom, and it did exactly that. It held the 18,000.
did?
So 108, sorry.
108.
Yeah, so it does hold 108.
Surprised.
Oh, my daughter's at Sherway right now, a mall with one of her friends. That's not going to be good. Okay, so right down into here was 6130, 6140.
I like the kids still do that.
Yeah, she likes to go. I mean, she's with one of her friends and her parents, I guess. A friend from, actually, it's a friend from hockey, but they've known each other since they weren't even born, because my son and my son and her brother were connected, were friends at a mommy's sort of daycare thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then Marissa was pregnant at the same time she was, and then they both had kid, and now
They
they're
had to
friends,
be
and then
friends.
they played. Yeah, and then they wound up making the same hockey teams and all that stuff. So now. She didn't make the same team as Gia this year, but
Once the friendship's there, that's
yeah. So no,
I just
it's
like
all
the
good.
fact
That's what they're
that
doing it, right?
Kids are still doing going to
the mall and not spending time on their
No,
phones.
but just like actually like spending time with your friends, like socializing and that kind of thing. Even if you ain't got nothing to do, like that, I always felt like you don't get those opportunities back, man. That's all I'm saying. Like, 'cause once life hits you, and you got to do stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And she's probably shopping over there at Lulu. All right.
Oh, you know she's shopping.
All right, PayPal. I just wanted to see. I got to actually refresh.
Get it, Gia.
Yeah, she's definitely getting
all
it,
of the
I would say.
things.
She probably is buying all of the things, which is fine by me. All right, reload page
Maybe she's
here.
buying some cosmetics.
I got to figure it out. Yeah, we can go to Ulta Beauty. We can go to any of those places. She probably.
What the heck happened to Ulta?
She probably is doing Sephora for sure.
Ulta.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ulta's chart. Remember we were talking about, I was like, Affirm had the biggest rug today. No. Ulta Beauty. I don't think in this entire earnings season I've seen
Where are my stops at?
a rejection like this on anything, really. And just in terms of how much this was breaking out and how good it looked, like blue sky set up, all that stuff. And it was still above. It was still up at the open. And it's just been sell here for them all the way through through the 50 period. Like, what are we doing here? And also, that is an absolute rug pull. Absolute rug pull. Crypto Yuga in the chat says Rivian. You know what's interesting about Rivian? It made me think of something. Someone asked me, is there something, like, what's the thing you would want to dip by on this market move to the downside? And my first thought was, I said to him, like, well, I think Rivian's a solid swing play from here because I like the R&R, but that has nothing to do with buying the dip. It's only down 1%. It's not really falling apart like the rest of the market is, so I don't think that really counts. It's more, it holds at 50, holds at 200. It's kind of breaking this. That's a bad wick here, so let me draw this for you. Like, it's breaking this trend down. It's holding the 50 and the 200. So it's kind of like you buy here, you put a stop under the recent low. You're talking about less than 10% worth of risk. And I like that setup for a swing, but it's not really a buy the dip, like what's getting bled today that you would want to pick up, which I think is what was being asked. And I was just like, well, no, this just has a setup that I happen to like. But this brings me to something. Everybody in the chat. First of all, if you're not in the chat and you're listening right now, get in the chat, and to do so, hit the subscribe button. So hit subscribe, jump in the chat, and I'm going to switch up this $ thing because it's always the same stuff in here. There's a gun to your head, and you must buy something right now or at the close that you have to hold till next week. What do you?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I've already said mine, so I can't really. It'd be silly if I didn't just put in Rivian because I just spent time talking about it. So I'm going to go with that. But make sure you put the $ in there. Not to call you out, Tony, but I'm literally calling you out. So some Oracle. Okay, now I'm not going to be able to read it. But the good news is we'll see some of those populating, jump in there. NVIDIA, Broadcom, P-Sky, Open. That is interesting. I saw.
Why don't we just reset that, and then everyone can do it, and then we'll be part of this, part of our scanner. Anyways, we have a new position just right now, quickly. I don't know. I've been saying this for a minute. You don't want to short a dull market, but the market right here, I wonder if it's just trying to go. The NASDAQ is so far away from VWAP. I wonder if we can sort of climb into there before eventually failing off of it. You could see that we followed the 50-period moving average, and then it got real choppy as we continued to sort of make new lows as it was pretty choppy. But then we've just held right into here a little bit, and we could make the move down. There's no doubt about it. But I chose the S&P 500, so I went over to the SPY and just thinking that's, again, it's the ES, right? So the S&P 500, the ES right here, and I just found. And it's a small. I just want to see what's going to happen here. We just broke through VWAP, and then, I thought I was going to, I'm at 65s. What is that? Oh, no, we're waiting for down here. Yeah, so this is just that 21 period. I'm still waiting for a 50 period. So if we can get a little more down here and then hold it, basically, I was going to try to hold it against a 200 period moving average, but maybe this low is a little bit better. We don't have, let's change our stop. I was already there. I was already at 66.25, but I don't want that. What's that? 644. So let's just see if it breaks 644. We don't have. Sorry, I almost did the wrong thing again. 643.99. Okay, so there it is. We'll see if it breaks down below. So our average price right here is 85s. There we go. I'm always so nervous putting those trades in because I put in the wrong price many times, especially when you're dealing with these kind of prices. Let's take one more shot there at 644 in and around here. Some of these levels, maybe 30s, and then we'll see where it goes. We'll try to have one unit on by the time it gets there. Right now we have half of a unit on right now. So our AMD trade today was 3 or 4 units, so just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. And then we'll wait to see if we're lucky enough to get this to go back up to the upside here. As S&P 500, let's see if there's a little bit of a rally back here, in the broader markets. The NASDAQ is the one that's getting kicked. We'll see if the ES can get going. We talked about some strength in XLF and in some of the bank names. So we'll see if they can sort of carry the day here into the close. We also do know that such a big percentage, of course, of the S&P 500 is NVIDIA as well. So if the whole market can get some good feels about it, then I feel a little bit better. JP Morgan holding VWAP as well as some of the bank stocks continue to work. So your boy's flipping it up, man. We've got it on. There's a new idea for you right there, and we'll take the SPY long. We're flat on it right now. We got a little excited taking out VWAP there, and we punched long. We should not have, I guess, but it fades back out. Now let's wait to see. Breaking through VWAP in some key areas. This is the trade that, to me, doesn't look that bad. You've never really seen me in SPY. I'm in it now. I just prefer it against the NASDAQ. You could also go into, what is it, XSX? Is that? No. SXSL or something for the triple levered SXSL. Anyways, I was just trying to figure something out instead of QQQs. There are other ones out there, and I'm just screwing up the name myself. So, anyways, that's what we're looking for right here. You guys, let me know in the chat what exactly. Oh, SOXL. Come on. No, that's SOXL. That's not what I'm looking for.
You could go to spxd.to.
SPXL. Is that the Beta Pro?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. SPXL. That's the one.
I had to.
That's the one. So my bad on that one. But anyways, good call on that. You should definitely go check out the Beta Pro names. But thank you to everybody in the chat. So this is going to be similar to the TQs where you get the triple lever
SPXL
on it as well. So SPXL. But we chose SPY again, and just I like to use the lower price ones also for our I was going to say for our audience, but for the traders that are out there as well, because this is a $650 name. So this is more properly played with options, most likely by most people in the chat, and I think it's the number one optioned.
That would make all the sense in the world. How could it not
be? That's out there. And there's so anyways, we'll wait to see what's happening here with SPY. We could get a fade. I mean, the market could easily come back, but I like the look of it right now. And if we do break below, we can get out, and it'll cost us about $1. So worth it here as just a little bit of a trade idea here into the close. And then we are still short the NASDAQ, so I'm going to try to cover that right now. My out was going to be VWAP. We have a very, very small piece. Let's just cover it right now, just so that we don't have to necessarily worry about any sort of back and forth here if the NASDAQ goes up and then the ES doesn't. Okay, so there you go. We are now covered our ES. Who keeps ringing that bell? What's going on over
there? I have no idea where that's coming from.
Oh, he's testing. Okay, that's fine. It's all good, man. I love it. But I was just like, am I saying something that is like the Undertaker is coming?
Test cooler buttons.
I was just like,
test that button.
Oh my God.
There we go. Yeah. No, I like the bell. I like the bell. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so here we go. We are now out of the TQQs, and we are suffering with this trade. But again, we do like to get another bid here around 644.30. Remember, this is the SP 500, and it's a $650 name, so it's going to move, and it's going to move a little bit more than I'm probably even comfortable with right now. So I'm going to have to share size appropriately, which is why I'm trying to talk about one unit, but everything is different when you're talking about AMD, which is 108 or. Well, how much is AMD these days? 168, I'm in it, hello. Stock, so yeah, we're gonna have to be careful with it. Right now, the SPY is coming back down, and I sort of gave the case of why I thought there was a chance. You could have also gone the other way, right? Like fade, fade, fade.
No, Oracle lost the 50?
I chose pain on the long instead of the short, so we'll see if it works out there, but that's what I'm doing right now.
Someone just said in the chat, Oracle lost the 50
Yes.
period.
Remember, Oracle was down 6% or something today, wasn't it?
Well, I'm going to no longer own this stock.
Yeah, it's had
No,
such
it was
a nice
it was a couple of, I don't remember when. It wasn't like recently. It wasn't like last week or anything. It was a while ago. I'm fairly certain. I was like, if it breaks down underneath. Because I've owned Oracle a very long time. And in the spirit of you own too many stocks, it's just like, well, if you don't want, it's like CRM. It's like, well, what am I doing with it still? Do I like it here? Do I want to buy it here? If the answer is no, sometimes the best place to generate cash is the stock that is redundant or you just don't feel like you need to be in anymore. And I determined a while ago that it's been a good run, but I want to look for some other stuff. So yeah, I should be out because it certainly broke 225 at some point today. So we'll look for that confirmation. I did reload. The only thing I did here is I still want to try Palantir at the VWAP. And if Palantir gets to the volume weighted average price, which is not even close yet, but it might get there, then I still want to try that long. But Intel just held a higher low. I was looking for a pop to short on this thing. So every time it loses VWAP, just try to short the first available pop here. And you want the early imbalances in the chat. Someone just asked. Let me get them up here. That's kind of large. ELAN. 15 million to sell already?
Maybe we should check about...
it's the end of the month, so there's probably something going on.
Wake up.
HPE, 1.1 million. Yeah, they're all pretty small. You guys can see them. There's no way ELAN isn't some kind of an add or delete. What's going on? I'm just kind of looking at this sheet. Oh, whoa, no, it's a monster edition. That's the wrong way.
What's the stock?
ELAN is being added to the S&P 400 for a net share of 41 million shares. So that's the wrong way. That 14 million is the wrong way there. What else is there? There's a few big things here. Apollo is a share increase on the S&P 500. Columbia Banking is a share increase on the S&P 400. That's 7 million shares. PPBI, there's some deals where like for stock and one's a buy, one's a sell. Those get really tricky. But ELAN is supposed to be a buy. So if you see this as a massive sell, yeah.
What?
I won't be touching it. It's supposed to be 40 million to the buy side.
Guys, yeah. Go to Adair first. I want to tell you guys something.
Commentary here from Feds Daily. Feds Daily, as of late, has been a little bit more dovish than some of her peers, and that streak continues with these most recent comments. She's saying that she continues to think that the tariff-related price hikes will be a one-off incident, and that you can't wait for perfect certainty without risking the jobs market. Previous comments that Feds Daily have made have basically been along the lines of, it makes sense to wait to an extent, but the Fed has to be careful not to wait too long to cut rates. So that has generally kind of been Feds Daily's line over the last month or so. She's continuing that, basically saying, you want to be careful, but also at a certain point, rates must be cut. Back to you.
I just want to say right here, we actually had I could show it to Neil, but you guys know that I'm telling the truth here. My bid was 644.36. It's been pending here for 10 minutes or whenever I told you guys about it. It went to 37s. So there you go. Sometimes this stuff happens, and we're doubling our position there. So we would have been taking some out on this move back higher. That is just so crazy. And I say this all the time. Even dependent, I would think that it has nothing to do with the fact that I was sitting there, right? But again, some of these algos, they're looking to see where there's liquidity, and I don't know.
Well, there's another thing that's
if they peppered it or what, but like I didn't even get even a part fill down there. Like, and that's a random. I'm just saying it's such a random price.
But when you send an order, and this is true of every order that gets sent, right? Like it goes to a certain broker, and then at the market, it's known what broker it comes from, and the type of traders or executions from that broker are known. So ours would be known as a prop, and that's true of retail as well. So when you're sitting in the order book, regardless of the size or when you're throwing orders out there, some of that smart money does have a general idea like where it's coming from and whether they want to interact with it. And sometimes they can get front run. Look, and I'm not doing this as like a tinfoil hat thing, because I remember we had traders on our floor.
I'm trying to bring it to people's attention.
That used to, and I remember when George, they complained about the front running, and I remember at first being like, "Come on, guys, like don't get in your head about this.
Right.
Like,
Don't
just
think
make your trades. Don't think that the world is against you." And I remember saying distinctly, and I was saying that to be like, "Look, you still got to trade." That was my intention, and then it was like literally months later, the whole. What's the book I'm thinking of? Shoot, Brad Kutsuyama.
Oh, the guy from Laurier, of course. Flash Boys.
Flash Boys came out like
Royal Bank.
months after I had that talk with the guys, and he was just like, "Remember when you were saying that?" I'm like, "I know, it happens. Sometimes the game can read against you, but there's nothing you can do about it." That's what I was trying to get at. Like, what are you going to do?
It's going to tank and fill me and tank.
But you never want. It's like you don't want it when they want to give it to you. Does that make sense? Sometimes, I think so.
Yeah, we are still testing. Apologize, Fabian's testing some of the keys around here, so that's why you keep hearing that ding, ding, ding.
It's like Google's giving that move back.
Wondering about that right there. Okay, so we're still going to sit in this SPY trade. All right, so as far as AMD is concerned, our stop was VWAP because we were able to get these lows again. We got out pretty much. We had 15% left when we left you guys, so that was here. So after getting out, some more key pieces here. So we have like 5% there. We got a little bit more there. So we only have about 2.5% or so left. I was waiting for this 162.60 to come in, but obviously if that comes in, then it will mess up our SPY trade, which is fine. I mean, I don't want to lose on anything here today. We did lose on Webull. I can sort of talk to that maybe a minute here. So our Webull trade today, again, and I'm pretty, I don't want to say upset. I'm not upset. I mean, today's a great day. It's just like that trade here, it came in into 14.50. I tried to buy basically yesterday's closing price. I like doing that, especially on earnings. And we know that earnings are tricky to trade. So I don't want to sit here and hate that move. So we bought that. And again, probably about a half a unit. Then we had another unit there. We probably put on another half. It started to go upside. And where we were worried at that point was that it just wasn't following the market. It wasn't really doing anything that made any sense to me. So we got out there at 14.20. And then once it broke 14, we wound up getting out the rest of it. Remember, our average price down here, that's a 13 fill. That's a 15 fill. That's a 40 fill. So average price probably around mid-20s. So we get out for roughly flat there and then wind up losing about 20 cents on the back end of it. So, but it's still making new lows. So that's a little bit of a surprise to me there for Webull continuously going lower. Okay, we are now, it's not reloaded, but I don't remember the last time that I've ever used this. So we'll do this right now. We are now loaded, I should say, instead of reloaded. I have the most amount of share, the amount of shares that I'm happy with is the sort of the word I'm looking for here, but it looks like the TQs and the SPY continue to go lower there. Look at the NASDAQ. Okay, NASDAQ. Okay, NASDAQ, I see you. So it looks like we will wind up getting hit on this as we do not hold anything. And it should have been, I guess, this trade just in flip. So we've seen it hold VWAP here, and it held it again. I thought we could have possibly gone for a run near the end of the day. So brown pants on me right now as we flush down into the basement of the S&P 500.
Remember, it's 1.3% on the NASDAQ.
It's not bad. I'm just talking more about this trade. I mean, I'm going to lose 50 cents.
It's the individual names that are getting you today, right? Like remember how good CrowdStrike was yesterday? Down 4.5 points.
Yeah, I mean, the Snowflake is down 3 points.
Even this, like the strong names, they couldn't do anything at all. We already know about Tesla. I don't want to get too much into that one, but like that Snowflake move. Snowflake was ridiculous. The buy program on Snowflake yesterday, but you got to I think you put this one into the good bucket. It pulled back, held the prior high. That 230 breakout is still good. Still good. Look where it dipped. Dipped right into the blast off zone in the afternoon or at lunchtime yesterday and held on to that. So it doesn't look strong when it's down 1.5% and what's that far down from the highs, but that's still strength. As far as I'm concerned, that's still going to be strength. Spark Shop in the chat. Thank you, Spark Shop. Mm-hmm. Happy Friday. Remember me, the Meow Super Chat Challenge guy? Shoot. You have another challenge. Who can find the chart with the worst long-term performance that hasn't gone to zero? If you beat me, I'll super chat another 20.
We already know
Camber
this.
Energy or Mullen. It's not even close.
I think Camber did go to zero, though. I think they're gone.
Camber did. CEI
would
did go to
count.
zero. Well, Mullen didn't go to zero. They just changed their name.
Better start
They still
super
count.
chatting.
How you can't ask me that one. I literally talk about Mullen and how it's the worst company in the history of the universe.
So, but they
on a
changed their
daily
symbol.
basis.
They changed everything.
On a daily
They changed
basis,
their
I
name,
talk.
they changed their symbol.
Come on, man. It's got to. And if you think it's not Mullen, show me a chart worse than Mullen. Come on.
He may have one.
No, you don't have a chart worse. No. Hold on a second. No. You don't have a worse chart. You don't. If I do, do I have to do Beanie? I guess.
And if you do, it should work.
Do I have to do Beanie? It'll do historic. Yeah,
Yep.
it will. Okay, so let's go 3 months maybe.
What is
Three-month
Beanie
chart?
trading at right now? Anyway,
Okay.
I'll find out the price. BI.
So what is this number?
you can't make it out.
500. That's 500,000. No, it was worse than that. I'm pretty sure it was worse than 500,000. So 500,000 high, and it's at
No, that's probably right.
26 cents.
Yep.
Your move.
So you lost $499,999.
I mean,
and 75 cents. You have 26 cents.
your move, Spark Shop.
At one point, you had $500,000 on BINI.
But you had to know I was going to say the stock. You had to know. Come on.
It doesn't.
You know.
The minute you're reading that, I'm like, okay, well, he has to have something better than Mullen because he knew we were coming.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You have to have a stock that's worse than. But that being said, this is a really good cautionary tale. I have nothing against penny stocks. Nothing against penny stocks. I have nothing against taking shots certain places. You can believe in something, you like the company, whatever it might be. There's nothing wrong with it. But if all they ever do is every time it drops, they just dilute more and have it drop again and dilute more and have it drop again, and they just do it over and over and multiple times a year. At some point, like you don't want to catch those. Like you're so far better off finding like a quality company you can dip by. Like find something, and this is maybe not the best example in the world, but I'll give you a really crappy, I keep saying things like crappy when I want to say bad. Like here's a poor performing company,
Poopy.
Snapchat, poopy. Here's a poor performing company that I think isn't the worst risk to reward in the universe right now, only because it's been holding $7. And how much would you have to risk to take a shot at Snapchat right here? Is it going to zero? If it breaks $7, are you worried it's going to gap down 30%? Probably not. You're not going to get an offering or some nonsense that dilutes the stock and overnight you're down 20 points on it. So when it makes a rounded bottom and breaks out, you can grab a $7.50 and risk the $7. That's like less than 10% risk. There's nothing wrong with trying to catch a falling knife. It's just if the company is just literally trying to screw you over and over again, maybe that's not the one. Notorious Dinkelberg, don't estimate how bad Snap CEO is. It was at the top of my head because I knew Snapchat had just recently bounced to $7. I'm not trying to say you should go out and buy Snapchat. I'm not trying to speak positively about the company on a fundamental basis. I just remembered that this week it had bounced off $7 and $7 was support. So it's the first thing that came to mind is something that wasn't like a Mullen, which is downward trending that like people take shots on. So that was kind of the point of the exercise, right? Like we're talking all day. I'm going to use the first thing that comes to my mind oftentimes. The market's not doing a heck of a lot, so it's like time to start wrapping things up to the extent that we can. BTJ, I did mention CRM. And I'll do so again, but I wanted to note that stock that's supposed to be a big buy is now a sell of half the size. So this is expected to be a buy today for the S&P 400. And it came out as like 15 million, I believe, to the sell side. Now it's 7 million, so it is decreasing like you would expect. And because I was asked about CRM, and it is something that I am in a swing position in CRM, so it's perfectly right and fair to ask about it. I'm holding through the 50-period moving average. I'm going to be offering out before earnings next week, midweek. If it gets anywhere, probably put because of knowing myself, like something like 266.42 or 269, just nonsense. I'm going to be on the offer in front of 270 next week before the earnings, and the day before earnings, I might decide to trim. 100%, if it gets above the 50 period on the daily, I'm going to have a trailing stop on a third of it, maybe even a half going into those earnings. So I was a buyer when it put this bottoming tail candle at the 230 level. Quite simply, I think I got 33 or 34. One of those two. I don't remember exactly what the price was. So yeah, my intention is to hold it to at least until the earnings. It's been a decent bounce. I like the fact that it's not falling all over itself today, right? Like if you're in something when the market's been trending all the way down overall, and it doesn't look too bad. You know, CRM, it's sold off like everything else, but it's been bouncing. So the buyers have been coming into this stock, and sometimes this is how it goes. Like the weaker stocks are the ones that have been strong, and the stronger stocks on days like today can be ones that have been, previously weak, as you might get some rotation. But yeah, I'm holding on to this one for sure.
Your boy. It's your boy. It's your boy. It's your boy. It's your boy. Right here, there it is, man. The SPY. Let's go. We're in the money, baby. So we go from a losing trade into a winning trade. Stat. No, it wasn't stat. It took a minute, but we'll take something out there as it comes back up in. We get a 75 fill there. I actually did have an offer at 88s, which was just breaking through VWAP and up basically where we first started to buy this thing. So there it is. Took a minute, but we're long now. I mean, you guys saw me get that fill. It almost broke, and we were like, oh man, we're gonna get stopped out. But nice move to the upside right now. So yeah, I feel like pretty decent about it. So at least it's coming back up here. We'll have again a pretty decent day. And let me take out. So I took out 5%. We have 10% coming at 88. Let's go. Let's go. We're at 88s right now. Let's go. Let's go. Right now. Okay, yeah, not going. All right. Oh, there it is. We get it. Okay. Nice trade. I just actually put 2 outs there, so we get 2 outs coming to the upside right now. But now it is. Now 40 cents in the money. I mean, it's not a huge trade by any stretch of the imagination, but as we said, we did have 1 unit on. So I don't know, man. And again, my units will probably be a little different than others, and same as all of us here on the show. So I've tried to say that I didn't want to get too heavy into this, and just heading into Friday, we didn't expect obviously to have 7 or 8 candles in a row upside like that right there, but here it goes, man. I mean, we got to celebrate wins. I mean, it's too hard to come across them to not, right? And so there's a nice move there back up to the upside, and we're pretty happy with now what we've been doing now. So there it is, man. Another victory there for us today. And we have all the big stocks on this side, man. The only one we've lost is Bull right there. So there's no Bull on that one. It's a straight downside. I'll take one more piece out here at 72 if we can get that. There we go. We got it on the SPY. So now we'll just wait. A couple outs. I've now got out of 30% of it, just topping it off, man, paying for whatever is going on in my house these days. We'll do it with this trade, and we'll wait to see if we can get another one. AMD still $6 in the money, and I'm actually going to take a piece out of AMD right now, because why not? We're underneath the 50-period moving average, and we're 4 minutes away from imbalances, which can send any of these things one way or the other. So there it is. We punch out at 71s there, and we wait to see what happens with the SPY. Good trading over there.
We got 2 super chats here. I can't believe this guy actually, it's not even close. It's not even close. ASTI wins by an absolute monster shot. I think I have you beat. I'll chip in the 20. Kudos to you for chipping in the 20. Hey, man, if you want me to do something silly on Tuesday, just within reason, let me know, because this is not even close. If you invested $500 trillion in ASTI back in 2007,
which I did,
you would have $2 today. Thanks so much for your awesome teaching. Love learning. It doesn't seem right in the 21J bars. Thoughts on Tesla next week? I think we mentioned. I don't really like what Tesla's doing here.
Let's go.
I'm not a fan. It looks pretty bearish. It can't seem to get past that 350 to 360 area every single time it sells off there. I think let it break the 360 and show you that it's breaking out. But yeah, ASTI not close. I've never seen anything like that. That's on a different level. I'm not even sure what's going on with that. 3 minutes till the imbalances. This thing is almost flipped, but it didn't wait until the imbalances came out on ELAN. So remember we said it was supposed to be a buy? ELAN, supposed to be a buy, was a sell. It's already running. Doesn't mean it's too late. Like if this comes out tens of millions to the buy side, then this is the one I'm watching here. It was 14 million to the sell side. It's supposed to be 40, but if it comes out a big buy, there still might be some juice left in about 3 minutes or so.
All right, I'm going to need some more out here on the SPY because why the hell not, man? 40 cents in the money, and someone said, why am I trading? Here it is. What's up to Nathan? No, what is this name here? Nail Hato, 9250. Why am I trading the SPY? Because I saw the opportunity. And I mean, I just, I'm very comfortable trading indexes. You guys know that. I do it all the time here. We just flipped it up from the Qs to the SPY. Sorry, I was just trying to fix my chart to show you here. The NASDAQ was just down so much, and I basically found this right here. This is the ES breaking through VWAP. And I was like, okay, if we're going to try to break through VWAP right there, maybe, the ES does pick it up. We saw bank stock. Wow, Neil. Wow, here we go now, man. We might have found something else to put in our repertoire right here. And again, we all completely different styles over here on the desk, right? And so I've only traded 4 names today, and wow, that one out. Our best out right here is O's. We should have got that one into the teens. Okay, I'm gonna take another piece out right here if we can get that. But so far, so good. We're out now, actually now out of half. That was a big out up there at O's. I just didn't think we would be getting that. And it's not a huge trade, but remember, we only have a minute and a half now until those imbalances come out. So I was just looking at it, and I do the same thing for pretty much every stock. I'm not trying to, you can tell by the way I speak and everything, I'm not necessarily the smartest guy. It's just looking at levels and being here for so long and trying to pick it and taking a risk on something, and that's what we did. So, paying off so far. Sometimes you got to risk it for some kind of a biscuit, apparently. So we did it there, and it's again not a big trade P&L wise, but definitely helping the net. We have no LFT today. It's been another good day over on this side. I mean, AMD, I'll make pretty much 75% of my net today is going to be on AMD anyways. So boosh, like that to the downside. Then we had the TQQ trade, which was whoosh all the way down there as well, which we wind up covering there, which is pretty good. So yeah, pretty happy with it. But as you can see now, the NASDAQ the S&P 500 is come right back into life. And again, a $650 name, you do got to be careful about what prices you put out and how confident you are on some of the plays, because what was good could turn bad real quick. And that's sort of what's happening right now. And it makes sense because these imbalances now are moments away. So with only 10 seconds left, we'll wait to see. This could either rip or tank. Either way, we're not raw dogging this one. We've got our stop orders in. We're ready to rock and roll right here as we get 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The imbalances are now out. And you can see, actually not affecting the S&P that much, but it is a nice little higher move here. Let's get something out now in the 60s. So we do that. We missed it. We do it right now. And it's PBI.
What?
That's Sarepta's there. I don't even see that ELN anymore. ELAN.
I don't see it either.
But the SPY's coming back down, so I assume it was a decent sell imbalance right now in the NASDAQ, or in the ES. I don't know, but downside play coming. Thanks for watching.
It's not.
I don't know what it is. The ES.
It's 860 million to the sell side.
Yeah.
But, I was looking for that ELAN. It didn't even come out.
Elon Musk.
No, it didn't come out. But PPBI Sarepta, that's like an add subtract kind of nonsense.
AMD.
So you got to watch out there. No, the individual names, like what are we even looking at here? Like TLT?
AMD's
Kolb?
tanking.
Nothing. AMCR? NVIDIA is 1 million to the sell side. That's the only thing over 1 million. Like nothing here. So it's really just, I saw HIMS down here for about 900,000 or about 1 million shares to the sell side. That's not insignificant. I mean, HIMS, not bad. Lucid, no one cares about that. That'll be a $20 stock on Monday. Check that Tuesday. So really, really light for the end of the month. Remember, it's the last trading day of the month. Sometimes you get some window dressing. But really, it's just the one deal and then ELAN. Now it's a buy of 3 million. Oh, they did it late. But now it's a buy. That came out of nowhere on ELAN.
ELAN, yeah.
That was, I swear that was not there a second ago, and then I scrolled down and scrolled back up, and you guys saw it. It was not there on the top. That's annoying. Hey, that is what it is.
Yeah, that is what it is. Okay.
That is what it is. Yeah,
go ahead. Yeah, I mean, that
was the one. It was because it's supposed to be a big buy. The second it flipped, but it didn't flip at 350. It actually showed up as something else. But you know what? I don't even want that PPBI. I wanted ELAN. That was the one we wanted alongside. What are you going to do? It's already gone. You don't chase this kind of a move. Maybe there's something in the last 5 minutes that you can play with there. Shout out to everyone in the chat there. Tesla is moving. Yeah, Tesla's catching a little bit of a bid. It did not break that 330 over at the end of the day. So the flat bottom break is still intact, potentially, for Tuesday, in theory. And you could gap underneath that price over the weekend for all we know. But yeah, the flat bottom break on Tesla, that's still very, very much valid at $330 come Tuesday morning.
All right.
And I hope it bounces like everybody else, but it's when you're trading, you got to recognize the trend.
Yeah, exactly. The trend is always and forever your friend. All right, so we do get a little stopped out there. We still hold a little bit. We bought a little bit more just on the dump off of the S&P 500 here. So let's just see if we can get a small little recovery. Oops, that's AMD, sorry, still. Let's see if we can get a small little recovery back upside. Now we're long at 10s, it's at 25s, 28s, 30s. So a nice little move back higher right now, 33s. Okay, we're making money. We're positive on the S&P 500, but we had to suffer a little bit there. We got some nice moves up, imbalances came, crashed down. There's getting us out at 644. It completely stops. We bought some more back, and now it's upside from here. So let's see if we can sort of get that imbalance back. Now, it will flip again, or at least it'll have some discussion about something at 355. So we have about a minute and a half left. Hopefully, we don't take that low, and if we do, we're out. That's a low of 90 break. So if we break that imbalance bottom, see you later, sayonara on that trade. But yeah, again, thanks for watching. We do have a bunch of you in the chat right now. And oh, I'm actually not even on the right. Ramin told me that there was a short out here, so go check this out. I don't know. It's about the 50-period SMA. So go have a quick look on this one. We'll put this in the chat if you guys, it's just part of our YouTube playlist here, so it's a short. We were talking all about this, so go find out what's going on with that one, and I'll put it in the chat, and you guys can go have a quick look. It's also up on my Instagram. So yeah, that's about it, man. It's 3:54 right now. We've got Neil with a word.
Well, if you're looking for swing trades, and lots of people are asking about swing trades on a market move down like this, and one place to find them is with Trade the Pool's new special tool just for you. It's a free ebook featuring 4 proven swing trading strategies from Trade the Pool's top funded traders. Inside, you'll get exactly how they approach the markets, how they manage risk, and what setups they rely on. So you can learn to grow and grow from what actually works. Download it now by scanning the QR code on screen or hitting the link in the description. Shout out to Trade the Pool. We're going to see them in a couple of weeks. And someone's like, you're going to get your fill on Palantir? Oh, I punched right out. I'm like, oh, I don't want that anymore. I was distracted by that Elan, and yeah, that's why we get out right away. So if you're watching those imbalances, in 7 seconds, they're about to pair off. NVIDIA's a 3 million sell. This one's a big buy on ELAN, and sometimes you get pairing events at this time. It'd be great if that grew. So Tesla just paired the whole thing. It was 3 million, and now it's completely gone.
All right, good.
Pfizer is a sell. Nobody cares about Pfizer. I don't know what BRDG is, but it looks like the big pair is on NVIDIA. HIMS stays $1 million to the sell side. That's not good. It's not good for HIMS. No. And Elan did not grow, so there's a nothing trade there. I want it to still, the move already happened in that stock, so I would like to see it growing in size, ideally. Otherwise, you would have to take it at the last second. I don't like that for HIMS. It's not a good sign. Usually you expect things to pair off. That $1 million just stayed $1 million, and it's at the low of the day.
So, what's up, Ozan? Yeah, AMD. Low of the day, low of the day. We just got it again right there. We just get the low of the day on AMD one more time, so that was a good trade. We got 162.25, so good short there. That put us in the money. That's exactly $6 on that trade, so a nice little move to the downside here for AMD to end of the day. And here we go, man. Yes, sir. It is a fantastic little move back right now in the S&P 500, but we haven't necessarily traded this thing that well. We'll pretty much be flat on it. We'll be slightly up, but let's just see where it goes. I'm waiting at 35s to get out of some as well. If it comes back up, here, I'll sort of zoom in for a little bit for you. Just trying to buy these dips, right? We got stopped out, we bought it back. I mean, this is a good one, but yeah, ultimately, the short was still much better. to short up here at VWAP on the ES was a good trade. It doesn't look like we're going to get all the way back up. Anywhere even close to that. I mean, unless there is a last-second run, there's still 3 minutes to go right now. So we'll see what that winds up happening right now. Uber's ripping, or rest in peace Uber? What does that mean? Let me go have a quick look. We didn't look at Uber all day. No, it's down 2% today, so that's not good. But look at Uber. Yeah, maybe it is Rip City right there for Uber. Nice move back up to the upside. Come on, futures, let's go. Right now on the S&P 500, I'm at 35s. You don't take too much more to get there. Let's go. One more piece. There it is. Yes, sir. Boom. We are now profitable on everything right now. So it's a good little trade here to end the day here on the ES. And glad that it's worked out this way. Look at this, get violent on them, ES right now. Good move there. Nice little take back here on the S&P 500 back into the 60s right there. So it's a 78-cent winner. 70, 85, 95. Now we're about to get into that club right there. And now we are almost, let's just put an offer. Let's put our last bid at 84s just because we got to get up to the desk anyways. We can make this a true dollar. Oh, we only need 82s to get the dollar club, but there it goes. Right back there up to the upside again. Boom, goes the dynamite. Too many fills in there. Very, very sloppy. But hey, man, a positive trade is a positive trade at the end of it. We had to stop out when it broke through there, 644, so unfortunately that's what it was. But yeah, I was really happy. Lucid should be a fun trade. On Tuesday, we talked about that reverse splitting as well. Thank you so much, Spark Shop and everything.
Remember, it's a nothing burger.
Means a lot.
Nothing fundamentally changes when you reverse split.
No, the congratulations on the SPY, congratulations on the amazing trading. You're welcome, Spark Shop in Salvador. Thank you so much. It means a lot, right? I mean, that's why. That's why I'm here to entertain you guys as well. Hopefully that's working out, but also to provide some winning ideas. And that's why I'm telling you today's a good day, a very, very green day. And yeah, Green Day is also a good band.
It is a good. Well,
it's great to go into a weekend feeling good about. Not even just hopefully you didn't get smoked. I mean, the thing is, some Fridays are tough to trade, especially when the Nasdaq's down 1.3.
Up is up.
Up is up.
Up is up. At the end of the day, there was one thing. What was the? Yeah, it was something I was gonna mention, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. With only 1 minute to go, it was gonna be about that. It was gonna be about that Lucid at the end of the day. When we talk about like what usually happens on a reverse split, every stock is different. I would make a venture to say like Lucid is not exactly like Mullen. Like there's no direct comparison between the two, but in a general sense, you usually wish people luck when they're involved in something at reverse splits because the history isn't good. But I'm not locked into thinking Lucid's going to go down on Tuesday. I have an open mind for that name in particular. So Marvell at the last second just showed up for 3.7 million to the sell side. It was
sell. Oh God,
that was not there before on Marvell. With only 20 seconds to go, and it immediately paired off to a buy. That's wild. But Marvell, the thing about that is, like, Marvell's having a bit of a day today. The closing bell brought to you by VinFast. Scan the QR code in front of you, VFS. Let's ring it in 2 and 1.
Okay.
And now the market is closed. No, I don't think I've seen that kind of action. Just to give you an idea, I'm going to zoom in. Like, Marvell went the biggest volume candle in there, like up and down, only about 30 cents. When it flipped from 4 million to 900,000 in the other direction, it barely even moved the stock because it's done 100 million in shares and is doing absolutely ham volume at this point. Well, it just looks like we're.
No, I don't know. There's
it'll bounce.
Huge candle there, 645.
Forgot to look at Google. Google had a monster close print.
Yeah, look, no. I'm muted.
That's why.
The volume.
I was just wondering what SPY just did. It just took out 645 right there at the end of the day. So a huge move. We do get our dollar winner at the end of the day. So whether or not you're going to the club or not, you won't be able to see me there. And I do want to say shout out to Spark Shop because this was funny. As a fellow dad, I also appreciate the urgency to make money when your kid goes to the mall. LOL on that one. That's funny, Spark Shop. So you're going to see me in just a couple seconds with Adara over there at the desk, and we'll have some fun here tonight as we have Steve Tileman coming from Trade the Pool. So,
say what's up to Steve for me.
Yeah, potentially I will. Yeah.
And also remember,
good guy.
It's a long weekend, everybody.
I got to get over there. All right, see ya.
Have a good one. It's going to be an awesome show for sure. It always is. But remember, it is a long weekend, everybody. So, Monday, You're going to want to enjoy your day off, but make sure you're locked and loaded because there's a lot to go over today. A lot of people get freaked out when we pull back 1% or whatever we are, down like 1 1/3%, because of all the individual names that have done so poorly, whether it's Tesla or the chips, NVIDIA and AMD, the rug pull that we saw on Ulta Beauty, that was ridiculous. CrowdStrike didn't really have a good day. It's across the board. Remember, there was some rotation. We had some strength. There was some strength in energy. There was some strength in healthcare. There was some strength in some of our staple type names, like Coke had a good day, Walmart had a pretty good day. So, there's opportunities everywhere in either direction, and that's what we're all about here. It's just trying to go through what happens and just take the best trades that you can. Try not to fight the trend. Try to make sure you're observing the right things in the market and getting yourself prepared for whatever happens to be next. But what's next for everybody here is to sit back and relax. Chill out. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is go from here to the desk to be able to get the show with Adara, with Sean, special guest Steve Talman. We get to talk to every single Friday, see what swing trades he's getting into. Hey, on a day where you buy the dip, there's always some swing opportunities. I'm sure he'll have some ideas there. So sit back, relax. Your market recap show is going to start right now. Sean Adara and special guest Steve Talman. Go get him.
Thank you so much, Neil, for that one. I have the show in my ear, so if you can
And turn off Adara in my ear, Fabian. If not, that's fine. I took it out. All right, welcome to the Market Recap Show. It is brought to you by Global X and Beta Pro 3X. So go check them out, and we want to thank them again for sponsoring the show. All right, good day today, obviously, trading-wise, but not a great day for the overall markets. As we have a quick look here, the NASDAQ goes out, not great, down 1.16% to end of the day, near the lows, but well off the lows, but still down that 1%. I'm going to switch this over to a 5-minute chart. We actually don't have any earnings coming on this Friday night. So there's a nice little bounce back at the end of it all, but still a downside play for the NASDAQ, down 1.16%. The SPY and the S&P 500 also with a negative day, but helped out a little bit by some of the bank names, right? Like JP Morgan was still positive. There were some positive sectors, and we will be reviewing those with you guys very, very quickly. But we had a good trade at the end of the day on the SPY, and there it is. It closing right at a key level. We'll see if we can break through 655 come Monday, come Tuesday, Adara, as it is a long weekend. So there it is, down 0.58 right there on the S&P 500. It all started with the PCE numbers. All came in as expected. So at 8:35 right into here, we didn't get too much action, a little bit of up and down. But then when the market opened up, man, did we get that follow through from day two NVIDIA earnings. Yesterday, again, they pushed a little bit of problems with their data centers, right? And what was going on with its sales into China, how that can be affected. But again, I thought their quarter was pretty good because it was sans any numbers from China. So once those get implemented, I think it's going to be absolutely monstrous.
I agree.
But then we had the news today from Alibaba coming out and saying that, hey man, we got some chips with some dip as well, and maybe we can get some NVIDIA money out of customers that would switch from NVIDIA over to some of these cheaper chips there in China. Why buy from an American company if you're Chinese and can buy from China? So I think that there was some hate there early for NVIDIA. The fall down was real for them. They wind up being down 3.3%. AMD follows suit as well. This is my biggest trade. Again, it's just funny, Adair, because my biggest trade on Wednesday, AMD. My biggest trade yesterday, AMD. The biggest trade today, AMD. And different ways, but today was short.
Lots of AMD.
Lots of AMD, and for good reasons too, if you had seen the P&L and whatever. But nice move to the downside there for AMD. We caught that whole move. We actually got it early today, so that was a good one. They're down 3.5%, but it was again, I've been hitting the fail all day on this. I even hit the brown pants, the flushing down the toilet. It was Marvell today, down 18.6%. Nasty movement there on Marvell, clearing up basically all the way back to early June, late May levels here for Marvell. I believe it's a buy in these areas, but we're going to have to now wait for this name to come back out. Do what you want to do. I bought a little bit more today. I bought some before the bell yesterday, just before the closing bell yesterday, and then the earnings came out, and whap goes Marvell to the downside. So the chip names not overly strong today, but we did highlight XLF and some movements in different sectors, right? And so XLF today up 0.26%, and that makes me think that let's go over and look at our stock heat map again. So this is the big sector today for electronic technology. Let's just call it the NASDAQ. NVIDIA down. Apple holding fort, flat for Apple. When the NASDAQ's down 1.1% and Apple holds flat, positive vibes. I'm getting those positive feels for Apple heading into September 9th event where they're relaunch, or they will not relaunch, they will launch the news about their iPhone 17, and we'll see what happens with AI. And if there's any discussions there may not be. Normally it's just a hardware event, so we'll find out what's going on with software as well. New watch they released last time, so there should be some interesting things. But heading out today, Intel down 2.5%, not great. Micron started off pretty good with that HK Hynix news, SK Hynix news, HK Hynix news there from Micron downside as well. Dell, yuck today. Dell down 9% today, also fading back into 122. So they're on earnings, Adara. So that's not great for Dell. Yeah, what the Deli? What's the Deli Cyrus as well to the downside there. And I'm going to flip over to Adara in just a couple seconds. I just want to flip over to what was positive, and we can always be negative about different names, but here we go, man. J&J, a nice move there today, up that 1%. As health technology, utilities, some oil names picked up there as well. Merck up 1% on the day. AbbVie, Thermo Fisher, BMY. There's a lot of good stocks in this space. And then where's my energy? There it is right here. So also energy with a bang, 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 bang kind of day here as well. XOM up 1, Chevron up 1, Conoco, Pioneer, Valero as well. Devon Energy down here up. So some good movements in other spaces today, but it was the tech that really held fort for the downside. You can see there's one green name in here, and that's Google, Adara. And that news from Google was what?
Yeah, so reportedly, the EU is going to be doing a modest fine for Google. That'll come out next week. I think the key word there, as you said earlier, was modest, because people were worried there'd be a lot worse of a fine for Google. But yeah, I mean, they still have their American antitrust.
We also like the fact that there's fines, because the one thing that these guys have is cash.
That is true.
So,
but how much cash will they have if they keep paying fines?
A lot.
Probably still a lot of cash.
Yeah, a lot of cash. And the thing is, you just want to make sure that the app store and that the advertising business stays intact, right? Because we know they can print money on all of this, so we just need to make sure that Google can hold fort. And it looks like it is. And Google today goes 52-week highs, also all-time highs today for Google. So here's the chart of this name. I mean, what an absolute monster. I was a fool right here when we broke through the 50-period moving average back in June. We did get some out around 164, 165 here, I believe, anyways, right into that price, only to watch it do this and get back to highs. So still long Google and still happy camper with that one. But yeah, Google also taking out some of those highs. All right, stories to talk about today. We just talked about Marvell. We talked about China, right? And I mean, China was a good trade today. Their ETF up 1%. This is the FXI. They're looking to break out. Maybe we can ask Steve about this, but it looks like they're trying to break out, accelerating its AI chip development amidst U.S. restrictions. So China and K-Web, let's have a quick look over there. These are the Chinese internet stocks. These ones should be working even better today. And yes, they were up 1.73% as, again, companies with like Alibaba, MetaX, Biren Technology, Huawei, all leading the way here with trying to help build some chips and fix their supply chain there in China. So they go upside. Alibaba, what an earnings report for them. They beat profit expectations driven by cloud and AI growth, and then they drop out information, guys. Alibaba starts talking all about, hey, we're in the chip game too. Let's figure this out with DeepSeek and Huawei. So it's going to be a little bit of a problem, and that's why you saw stocks like NVIDIA head to the downside, AMD and Broadcom, all basic US chip makers now wondering, hey, will we get that business from China that we were hoping if they can build these chips over there and don't have to worry about some of the tariffs and whatnot coming from the United States. So that's a little bit of a problem. We had Dell, Adara, come through today as well, reported strong Q2 results in AI servers, but their EPS guidance and growth lower, not giving us any reason to cheer. Dell today down 9%. It's funny because old head names like Dell and IBM, some of these names getting hit a little bit recently. I do like IBM. I think that's a buy. Neil talked about CRM, another name there, Salesforce, that has not had a good time of it as of recent. They come on Wednesday.
They do.
Good little look for CRM. Actually, well off its 52-week low of 220 and change, but look where it falls right into this level. You know what? That's making me think, has IBM actually made a resurgence resurgence? Yeah, not really, still near these lows. But again, key levels here for international business machines. I think that could be a buy down here as well. Without any earnings, we wait for Steve Teilman. He'll be here shortly.
Yes, we do.
Solana breaks out on the crypto side of things, so that was a good move. There, Solana broke out up to 216, increased institutional buying and bullish technicals. And here is the BTC chart, and they did not have a good day today at all. And if we zoom in to see Bitcoin here on a 1 day mark, we are now below the 50-period moving average. We go out, oh no, we are now under 108 now for Bitcoin. We've been holding that the whole time. Neil and I identified this as a possible trade, holding 108, but it does not do that. Let's go into a 30-minute chart. There it is. Not a good afternoon for crypto as it fell back in right into there, into those lows. So I think crypto in general, just taking a little bit of a breather. I think there is an opportunity to get long. And it's just funny that the last time I was buying something and I talked about Solana, right there. We're looking for it on Coinbase. So here it is right here. Nice little hold there for Solana. I recently bought some at 200. It does make that move up to 216, 218 right there, but now falling back in just a little bit, trying to hold that 200 period moving average on a 30-minute, which I don't chart. So let me go for a 1 day look here. And yeah, we are still well away from that 157. A nice run over the last summer months here for Solana. I mean, we start the summer down here at 107, 108, all the way up to 210. That's a 100% move while everyone was sunbathing. So a nice little move there for Solana. No doubt pullback imminent there. I could feel that this weekend. I would see a little bit of a dump. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Bitcoin near in and around 100,000 when we come back on Tuesday. Any thoughts about crypto?
Yeah, no, I'm just preparing our Jimmy Carter infographic already for because we'll get a new one of those on Sunday. Just basically the stocks that we picked for the year on the Jimmy Carter holiday on January 9th. How have they performed since? I update it like once a month at the start of every new month. So I was just working on that. But yeah, in terms of crypto, I said this on the midday. This is something I think I need to learn a lot more about. And I'm not invested, not because I don't believe in it, just because I find the volatility to be a bit daunting, and it's not something that I'm like, I feel like I have enough awareness of. That being said, on the daily chart, Solana, I think, looks the best of like Ethereum and Bitcoin and Solana. I mentioned this too. Apparently, Solana, there's a lot of ETF demand right now.
Right.
Solana and XRP, I was seeing this ETF analyst had basically posted on X, there's apparently 92 ETFs that are awaiting approval in the crypto space. Most of them are going to be XRP. Not most of them, but like the largest, I guess, amounts there was interest for XRP and interest for Solana. Solana was a little bit larger than XRP. So we could be getting some ETFs in that space. That would be a great look. Also, I'm just seeing headline, Meta created flirty chatbots of Taylor Swift and other celebrities without permission. And that is the whole headline. If I have more context, I'll let you know. But not our first Taylor Swift-related headline this week, guys.
No. Congratulations to Travis. So I feel like... I remember, was it the Meta? I think it was the Meta release when he was talking, was it about Oculus or something? And he was talking to an AI Snoop. Somebody was talking to an AI Snoop dog.
I blocked this out.
Yeah, you blocked that out. But there was, so this kind of stuff has happened before, for sure. And on one of the local radio stations here in Toronto, they have Fake Drake, it's called. And it's an AI, and it's really funny.
There's Fake Drake?
You should maybe Google it. There's I don't know if it's Virgin Radio or Kiss 92.5 or something like that. But when I'm in the car with my kids, they have Fake Drake segments.
What does he do?
Oh, just funny stuff.
He just talks?
Like, yeah, he comes. But it's an AI generated.
Well, I know it's not real. Drake,
yeah.
But
so it's nothing. Just some like events that are happening in Toronto or something.
But Drake's telling us.
Yeah. So it's like like Fake Drake will talk about like the Oasis concert, or Fake Drake might have had an opinion on Travis and.
Brendan just put in our chat, deep fake Drake.
The what?
Deep fake Drake, says Brendan. Yeah.
That is what it is. Yeah.
Oh, that's what he's called?
Who said that? Brendan?
Brendan. In our
Brendan.
group chat.
Oh, our Brendan's actually listening to this? Oh, hey, shut up, Brendan. Yeah, deep fake Drake. So he knows what it is.
I need to look up deep fake Drake.
Yes. So there is a radio station
that does that. Thank you, Sean and Brendan, for making me aware.
But again, I think that's where AI is kind of going right now. I mean, all of this, it's dangerous to some extent, where you get started. I mean, we can have a quick look. I was just going to quickly look at XRP, and then maybe we can talk about Meta. But right into here, I'm going to be buying some Ripple. If we can hold these levels. I'd like to see it test maybe anything down into here, 250, 240, but this is a good level, man, 280, 270. I like this level there for XRP. So shout out to Brendan with the deep fake Drake. But I was just wondering, when you're looking at a stock like Meta, META, that where exactly do all of these large language models and then little dangerous things like this, where does the responsibility lie with some of these things? Because you're going to start making fake pictures. We've seen, I think there was, again, other things were involving Drake, things involving Taylor Swift as well.
And also Drake doing the Tupac fake with the whole, which escalated the Kendrick and Drake war and then led to Kendrick releasing Not Like Us. I could do an entire, probably hour-long TED Talk on that, but I won't. But the point is, AI and deepfake was involved in the Drake-Kendrick beef.
And again, it also comes to creation of music and creation of art.
Yeah,
right?
the
Because
AI songs.
Now there's AI songs and there's literally AI movies. I've seen ads. I follow Sebastian Maniscalco, and somebody did like basically like a little quick commercial with him, but everything was AI. You could tell it wasn't him, but it was pretty close. It looked very cartoonish, but at the end of the day,
AI has been, like, the Uncanny Valley stuff freaks me out. I'm not gonna lie.
So,
I get freaked out.
Adara, I don't know if this is going to be the real Steve Tileman or not, but we're going to find out right now. Let's go see if it's AI Steve or if it's the real one. Let's bring him on to Steve Tileman, his Trader Talk. Let me see if we can. Steve, blink twice if you are real.
It's me.
Okay,
I'm real.
Okay, he is here. What's up, Steve? I don't know if you just heard some of the conversation that we had right there, but yeah, I'm getting a little bit, I'm not nervous about it or anything like that, but I talked to my kids that are 11 and 13, one just had a birthday, and even my kid is like, oh, you know what? I want to get like a privacy screen on my iPhone because when I'm at school, I want to be, writing these tests and using ChatGPT to get all the answers and sort of cheating that way. And we just talked about making songs, making art and all that. To me, I guess that's just the next phase of AI. And maybe we need to put a couple of curbs or speed bumps in some of the development here. Where do you think AI is going? What inning are we in with AI?
That's a great question. And, it brings up a lot of philosophical, points there. But, I think we're still in the middle here. I think we have a ways to go. We're still seeing companies start to actually, turn this AI resource into actual revenue. So I think there's a lot of room to go. I think outside of the market, just, as a development, I think it's the biggest thing since the internet. And I think that our children are going to be growing up in a completely different world. So we'll have to see where it goes.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, I even remember dating myself here, but even back in university, like to have a cell phone when I was going to school was like, wow, you got a cell phone. Like, that's amazing. And we used to have AOL Instant Messenger, and it was like you have to connect, and you had to get multiple phone lines in your house. And now everything is just like with Starlink and everything. You don't even have to worry anymore. That quarter for NVIDIA, I thought, Steve, was pretty impressive. I don't know what everybody at Trade the Pool thought or what your trading rooms thought or what your opinion was. No surprise that it went down. We had a banger trade, a $6 winner this morning on AMD. So we were definitely short this market. We shorted the NASDAQ right off the open. I came in here today for the very first time. We saw the NASDAQ starting the day down almost 1%. So I think that was a little bit of an indicator there. But you think NVIDIA has more room to go to the downside? Are we seeing a little bit of a bump on the charts? And again, we can share your screens or whatever you want to show. It looks like we're bumping up to the 50-period moving average on a daily. So maybe 170 right down here. Maybe 170 eventually winds up holding. Any thoughts about the price action on NVIDIA the last couple of days?
Yeah, sure thing. So I think that we are in a period where we have to wait and see. On a leading stock like this, it's really hard to call a top, but I gotta be honest, it's looking like distribution up here with this heavy price action. It can't seem to break above that. I really may find any traction over 180. So for me, I'm watching very closely for it to reclaim around 175, 176.
Right.
Can't, then I think it could drop pretty significantly here.
Okay, yeah, that's a worry spot for me too. If we do not hold some of those levels, we get nervous that potentially the bottom's nowhere near. I mean, we're still well up. We're $10 away from all-time highs, and let's like slow down a little bit here on some of that talk. But next week we also have Broadcom, so I don't know. That's coming on on Thursday, and of course, happy early Labor Day to you and yours as well. Taking those days off, I hope, Steve. But Broadcom coming through again, having the dip down. Any stock in the space? We could talk about Marvell as well, down 19% today. But other than NVIDIA, are we staying away from the chips until we get some confirmation that we're back? Are we catching any of these falling knives? Is there anything in this space maybe that is a little bit outside that you're thinking about?
Well, I've got a spicy one for you, and I might catch some flack for it, but I think Intel is actually looking better than most chips right now. It's looking very constructive, and if it can break that 25, let me show you what I got.
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
And I've been trading this, so the chart's a little messy here, but I believe what we're seeing here is a tight flag here over this really key 25 level. If we go to the weekly, we can see that this is a very key level. It was basically the lows previously, and it's been trying to base out under that and break for so long now. I think it could get a really explosive move up once it gets past that 25 handle.
Hi, Steve. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I want to ask you about cybersecurity. We do have, of course, Zscaler coming up, earnings on Tuesday night. We had CrowdStrike report this week, Sentinel-1. There's a whole bunch that just kind of did their earnings season or are heading into earnings. Do you have any favorites in this space, or how do you feel about the sector as a whole right now?
I love it. Thanks for asking. It's one of my favorite sectors. I think it's a really great sector because you get a combination of high beta risk on, trading action, but you also get the kind of built-in safeguard for if there's anything geopolitical going on. That's going to also get a boost from that. In terms of individual names, I really like Zscaler. The weekly is looking very constructive. We played this move from 200, the breakout, right up to this previous high and a little bit above there, so the 300 area. And I think it's ready to go again. It's flagging really nicely, holding over the downtrend line and holding those key 9 and 21 moving averages that I love so much.
So we'll see. What day did you say that was, Dara? Wednesday is Zscaler?
Zscaler Tuesday after the close.
Okay, so we'll talk about that maybe next week with Steve, and we'll see what winds up coming through. You might have heard me just talk a little bit there about Solana and some Bitcoin. Ripple's down to a nice little level there as well. Any thoughts on crypto, Steve, as we approach now coming through into that $100,000 mark? Any thoughts there? Ethereum also coming off its all-time highs. I mean, everything in the space is down on a day like today, but Solana seems to be the strongest one now. Is there anything that you're seeing, anything that you're hearing about? For me, I want to sit there and maybe add 5% or so to my Bitcoin holdings in and around that between 100 and 102, just to see if the psychological level of 100 wants to hold. But any thoughts here, or do we wait for, again, more confirmation? What are you thinking about the crypto space?
Sure thing. So a lot to unpack here. So first off, Bitcoin is in the resting period here, right, as we've seen with the explosion in Ethereum and altcoins, like XRP, for example. Just about anything has been outperforming Bitcoin for the past couple months now. So Bitcoin is trading back into this key level, which was the previous double top from December 24 and the beginning of 2025. And I really want to see if it can undercut this volume shelf here, maybe tag the volume shelf at the 105 and maybe not even give that $100 look that everybody's waiting for. Because I'm with you. If it hits it, I'm buying.
Right. Okay. I actually asked Neil this question on the chat on today, and I didn't see too many responses from him nor the chat, but like, what is a catalyst that can get Bitcoin going again? Like, I was trying to think about, we're in rate cut cycle right now. Fed independence is being challenged every day, it seems like. The monetary supply, and that's with the Fed there. The US dollar keeps on going lower. Like, and Bitcoin's following all of this news and just keeps on heading to the low side. Is there a headline that we're waiting for? Like, we know that there's the treasury, the Bitcoin treasury seems to be something, but I don't know. They're just putting in Bitcoin that they've recovered into there. They're not necessarily adding new funds into that treasury from the US side of things. So what is a catalyst that us that are looking to buy Bitcoin, other than technicals, why would we buy this? Like, is there a catalyst that you could think of that we're waiting for?
So I'm by no means a Bitcoin expert, right, and I'm also by no means a fundamental catalyst expert. Okay. Yeah, you know me, a very technical trader. But what I'm looking for is weakness in Ethereum. I don't see a reason to buy Bitcoin while Ethereum is leading and is so strong out of the gate here. So I'm watching the ratio chart there for weakness, and then we could see some money starting to flow back into Bitcoin. As far as headlines, I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Right. Okay.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, no, same. And that's why I keep on saying that. I feel like it was awesome when you started that by saying BTC is in the resting period, because that was my whole thing is that it seems like the institutional money, when they want to pick on one, they do that. And they go right over there, they let it fall down, and then it's like, it's time to buy it, and you'll start to see the momentum go. And we've seen that obviously with Ethereum and Tom Lee and BMNR, and some of those treasuries starting to go back up to the upside there as well. Okay, I've asked you a bunch of different things today, as has Adara. Is there a name that you're sort of telling Trade the Pool? trade the pool lights, I guess. I was trying to think like people that are into trade the pool. What trade the poolies?
I was going to say trade the poolies.
Trade the poolies. Yeah, there you go. Hey, if you guys use that, you got to give me credit, okay, Steve? Make sure you do that. But anyways, at the end of the day, what are some names maybe that are a little undercover or not? What are you looking to trade over there? Give some viewers over 2,500 right now watching. What can they look forward to next week, or what are some ideas that are going through your head?
I am the bearer of unpopular opinions this week. I like Intel and I like China. I like the China names. I think that this basket has legs to play catch up here. We've seen Baba have the explosive breakout through 125 there today and through 130 now. So that's got blue skies ahead. I'd love to see the rest of the sector start to play catch up there. I think JD is looking really appealing in this falling wedge here. So this is the name I'm playing in China besides FXI as well.
Wow, yeah, JD does look like it's set up for something there. So are we buying it now or waiting for that wedge to break?
So I bought it open today. I saw the strength pre-market in all of the Chinese names, and I looked at how far Baba was up, and I said, man, I don't want to add up here. I already have a position from a while back that's just been hanging out. So I added to I added to JD. I added to FXI this week, and I'm also looking at Baidu. I think this stock, wow, look at that candle today, explosive. Yep. Yeah, I think this one, if it can break above, which it has broken above this trend line, this one has a lot of room up to 100 at least.
Yeah, I like all of that. Steve, again, a lot of people don't like to invest in China because of the risks associated, but I think we have enough now data points to show that, these ETFs, with the fact that they're not single stock risk, you do get an opportunity to get out if there's a problem, and I like it. So I'm sort of stamping now, rubber stamping that we can get involved with China. FXI actually looks like it's breaking out, as does KWeb. So I'm glad you mentioned both of those. All right, normally on a Friday night, Trade the Pool has a stream going shortly after hours right here. Is that the case now, and where can traders find you?
Absolutely. Thanks for asking. So yeah, we're going to be doing the stream over at Trade the Pool's YouTube channel. You can go over there, click the live tab and find us there. I'm going to be doing a webinar on how to read market profiles and TPO charts, all that fun stuff that's a little bit intimidating for a lot of people. So come on in, learn something, and hang out with us.
Steve, I think your calm demeanor and everything and the way you explain stuff, traders will definitely benefit from a little explanation there on market profile, that is for sure. Thank you, Steve. I'm sure you'll be joining us hopefully next week, and we can talk all about it, and we'll see if Intel breaks that $25 wall there and the seller dissipates, and then we'll check out on China as well. Thank you so much, Steve Talman. Have a great weekend and an extended one at that.
Thanks. Have a great one. Take care.
Ciao. That's Trader Talk. Thank you, Steve, from Trade the Pool. All right, Adair, I always feel like we have a great time with Steve, a great analyst, and we can throw anything at him and covers it well, and confidently as well. That's the other thing. And I actually like the answer to the question there, not sure about a Bitcoin rally, like why would it rally? What are the macro ideas there? And we're looking at it from, as he explained, a technical side of things most of the time. And I'm waiting for that. And I think gold could spark a rally as well. If we start to see gold start to rally a little bit, which it's been doing, I think that can help crypto as well as a store of value as we think more about, hey, it's maybe a little risk off right now on the market as we see that move come back in. And I wonder if traders are starting to slip into a little bit more cash right now. And part of that also does include liquidating crypto assets as well. So anyways, great show today. I feel like we nailed it in the morning. The afternoon show was great. The midday show was great. And Neil and I bookended that with average shows as well. So I think that was a great opportunity today to get a feel for what Trader TV is all about. And make sure you do like and subscribe to the stream. Right now we have 2,200 of you watching. It's about time we do something called roll call. Oh, yeah. I just want to say hi to everybody. I mean, the fact that you traders, where's my mouse? There it is. The fact that traders have stayed late with us here on a Friday.
On a long weekend Friday.
Yeah, hopefully they're having a little cocktail watching us or whatever they're comfortable doing. I think we did a great job reviewing some of the sectors. We talked about a whole bunch of names. Adair and I always have a good time. So I want to say thank you to TD Baker, that's here as well. Mike P. the Riders here, Rivian Millionaire, Brad Aldman. Come to the screen, Fabian, and we'll show everybody what we're doing here. Sean could never be this calm. Yeah, no, never be calm. Right now, Pelican, what's up? Workouts is here as well. Brown Lightning. Oh, yeah, I had a conversation with you on the midday as well. Dane Generous. Yo, have a great 3-day. You too, Dane, as well. Derek Thompson's here, and everybody, even later in Scotland. What's up, Superman? Yeah, thank you so much. No matter where you are in the world, we want to thank you guys for watching us. And there it is. That's the roll call. The greatest. Thank you so much, Emilio. Deshaun Fittins is here, and thanks to Dara for that nickname as well. This weekend is also a big weekend for another reason. It's a big fantasy football draft weekend.
I thought that already happened.
Yeah, no, this is well, it did for us. We have already had our draft. I've actually had 2 drafts this year. I'm in
How many drafts happen?
Millions. What do you mean, how many drafts?
But I mean, how many times for each little
pool?
group?
So each little group would have 1 draft.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So each little group.
That's what I was asking.
My little group is called High School Memories. Our pool has been going for 20 plus years. So we've had some members kicked out, some brought back in, some back and forth. And I have another pool with my family members and some older friends as well that is over 20 years. So those are the 2 pools that I'm in.
I mean, you and Neil are in the pool, right?
Yeah, we're in one of them together, which we go back and forth as. So good luck to everybody this weekend. I think you can get Caleb Johnson from the Pittsburgh Steelers cheaper than those other touted first-round running backs. I think you want to wait on that. And then also, my advice to everybody out there, wait on a QB.
Caleb Johnson is like the recent guy, right? He was just put in and he paints his nails and people, is that the guy? I'm thinking, is that guy?
Oh, that's Keon Coleman from the Buffalo Bills?
No, his name's Caleb, but I don't know his last name. He was drafted fairly recently.
Okay, that would be him.
That would be Caleb Johnson. Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
So you even know more than I do. So there it goes. Caleb Johnson had 21 rushing touchdowns last year.
Apparently Caleb Williams, people are saying his name is.
Oh, Caleb Williams.
That's why I was confused.
Yes,
okay,
yes. So he's Chicago.
Caleb.
Yes, he's eccentric. So it is Caleb Williams. He's the most recent number 1 overall pick last year. For the Chicago Bears.
Yes. Okay.
So down with the Chicago Bears as a Green Bay Packer fan. And shout out to Micah Parsons, the newest member of your Green Bay Packers. All right. Thank you so much for joining us again today as we are now overtime. It's 4:32. Join Adara, myself, and the whole crew back here Monday, Tuesday, as we get ready to celebrate Labor Day. Enjoy it with everybody. Any plans? These are your plans this weekend?
Chilling out.
Empty.
Definitely writing. What about you?
So I said to Marissa, I opened up the calendar and, hand to God, honestly, we have 0 in our calendar. And it's the first time I have ever seen nothing, absolutely nothing.
Like the kids aren't
nothing in the calendar. I have never, it's been 10 plus years at least, where there's nothing. So that was well planned by her.
Awesome.
I'm sure there'll be some sort of a practice that shows up. We do have a hockey practice late on Monday night.
Because they don't have school right now. That's probably what it is,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
they don't have school. It doesn't start yet. They're in that awkward in-between stage. Yeah.
My grandmother just turned 96, and so we're going to go visit her this weekend and spend some time with my parents as well, and just have hopefully a overall banger of a weekend, and I hope that everybody does as well. Enjoy it with the ones you love and have a great time. Thank you to Adara, of course, Neil, Sharif, Joe, Ramin, Fabian, and Andre and Brendo. So thank you to everybody and Mark. Thank you for a great day today. And again, hit your like, hit your subscribe, and Adara and I will see you on Tuesday. From everybody here at Trader TV Live, I'm Sean, that's Adara. Ciao for now.
Happy Labor Day.